7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Welcome to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hertz on AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. This hour is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. All things diesel for over 26 years. Now, here are your hosts, Peter and CJ.
Hey, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in on this dreary. It was foggy when I got in. It's wet. It's going to be wet, rainy all week long. But, hey, we're here. It's Tuesday. It's March 17th. Welcome in to Sports 56 Mornings. No Peter today, just CJ. We got a show to do for you. We're going to be joined by Anthony Sane from Sports Illustrated. Talking, he covers the Grizzlies. Everybody knows about Sane at Sane Asylum on the Twitter. So he's going to join us at 8. We're going to talk some about the NBA, where it stands as of now, what he would like to see happen when things do get to resume. If he thinks things are going to resume, what does that mean for the Grizzlies, and so much more about the Grizzlies and the NBA. And then at 9, we are going to be joined by the Hall of Famer, Teresa Walker from the Tennessee, and she covers all things sports up in Nashville, including but not limited to the Tennessee Titans. And they have had a busy start to the week. Monday, we ain't even over with yet. They've had a super busy Monday and busy Tuesday as well so far. The Marcus Mariota news that he's gone. Derrick Henry getting the franchise tag. Ryan Tannehill getting that big deal and so much more. We're going to talk to her about what the Titans are doing this offseason so far. We got NFL free agency to discuss. DeAndre Hopkins, for those of you who missed it, gets traded for a second-round pick in Johnson. And what's my man's name? It's leaving me.
David Johnson?
David Johnson to the Cardinals. So the Cardinals give up David Johnson in the second-round pick and get one of the best receivers in the NFL in DeAndre Hopkins. Dak Prescott gets exclusively tagged. Amari Cooper gets his deal done. What does that mean? What do all of these dominoes falling mean for quarterbacks like Brady, Bridgewater, Rivers? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to discuss the NBA and what we might see when we might see them come back. We can't do any of that without you guys, though. Ugh, as I slur my words a little bit. 67129. 67129 is the First Bank text line. Text us. If you have yet to join the text line, your first time texter, text 56-JOIN. That's 56-JOIN to 67129, and that locks you in, and then you can text us from there on out. Save us as a contact and text away. You can also give us a call, 360-8255 on the First Bank phone lines as well. We want to hear from you all day long, people. Couldn't be doing this show without the man, the myth, the legend over there. Just celebrated a birthday. Gonna be a deacon. Taking care of us, making sure this ship stays right on course. That is Similac Zach, America's soy toy. Zach Boyd over there on the other side. Don't eat no meat, can't be meat. What is it? Done chasing honeys because he's counting his monies.
Doesn't scream.
Done screaming. Wildest dream. I forgot about that one. Zach, what's going on, man?
What's going on, CJ?
I can't call it. How was the day? Yesterday.
Pretty good. For me, my routine doesn't change. Like once I leave here, I go home, I take a nap, wake up, keep up with the news or whatever, watch a couple of shows, go right back to sleep, wake up early in the morning.
I took one of those 4-hour naps yesterday.
Oh,
it was
you did?
Glorious. Oh my gosh. Laid it down at really was longer than 4 hours. Because I think I went to sleep at 4:30 and got up at 10:30. So that was a 6-hour nap. It was glorious. That wasn't a nap. That was a sleep. I slept. I slept.
You slept pretty much half of the day away for you.
Oh, it was good. Oh, it was glorious. I needed that.
But I hate waking up late at night knowing that I have to go back to sleep just to get back up in the next few hours. Because if I don't go back to sleep immediately, then I'm gonna be up, and then that means I'm up late. Then you're talking about, because again, I have several alarm clocks going off at the 4 o'clock hour. if I'm not asleep before 1, like I might be in a bad mood because it's because like I need to be asleep but I can't.
Zach, I caught that 6 hour sleep, man. I didn't go back to sleep till like 1:30, and that's fine.
Right.
That's fine. It's cool.
Well,
I feel fine. I won't feel fine by like noon. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm really sleepy, but it'll be okay. But I'll reset during the weekend, get back on the right sleep cycle.
But I think for you naturally, cause you already up like around 3:00 anyway.
Yeah.
So it's so it fits in that timetable for you you to kind of be already up. For me, it's like, okay, like I'm up at 12, but I can go to sleep at 12:30. I'll fall asleep around 12:30, wake up at 4:00, 4:30, and be like, okay, let me go and get myself up. But if I go to sleep at 1:30, like I might be in a bad mood. I try not to be, but
yeah, I ended up staying up. Well, not staying up, but I got home. President was on the TV. Saw that the CDC said because of the coronavirus, it's hard to discuss anything sports related without the coronavirus looming large overhead because there are no sports. And the reason there are no sports, coronavirus. We can't gather in large groups because of the coronavirus, and we're trying to slow the spread of that. And so I watched the presidential address, and then went to the CDC and saw some of the stuff that they were saying. Don't gather in groups of 10 now. First it was 250, now it's 50. First it was 250, then it was 50, now it's 10. And that number is steadily shrinking as the days go on. Bars and restaurants across the country are being asked to not offer like dine-in. Carry out is fine in most places, but bars, nightclubs, breweries just shut it down. Restaurants, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, Washington, and I would assume by the end of the day it will be everybody where this is going to be the case. And I know that we have a lot of sponsors. Corky's, great sponsor of the show, great sponsor of the station. The restaurant industry is going to be hit hard by this, but if you can, go ahead and go grab you some gift cards and say, hey, I was going to come eat here for lunch. I was going to come here for a dinner or for a hangout session. March Madness would have been going on around this time. We were going to come and watch TVs on your big screens that you can see all over the restaurant at Corky's off Poplar. We were going to go sit at the bar and hang out there. We were going to spend X amount of dollars, but since we can't spend that today on the food, on the service today in-house, I can go ahead and spend that money on a gift card and come back at a later date. Corky'sBBQ.com is a great way for you to place some of those orders and just drive through the drive-through. It's not only is it super quick, but if you're trying to limit personal contact with people, this is the way to go. The drive-through, the carry-outs, as long as they're available, go ahead and take advantage of those. And Corky'sBBQ.com is super easy to use, real quick, real convenient. You can go ahead and order your food and then go through the drive-through, have limited interaction with people, and put yourself and others at limited risk for spreading this thing. But we see now that restaurants are beginning to shut down and close down. We also see in Overton Square, businesses are closing. Restaurants are shutting down because it's what are we going to do? We like to go inside of these restaurants and hang out, make a big deal of it, have a grand old time. But if we're being told as a collective to stay away from groups of 10 people or more, you really can't be out and partaking in those things, let alone, never mind sports for a moment, because that has been put on the back burner. That has been put on hiatus last week. This is now affecting other more casual parts of our society and of our collective.
Did you see the video of the people in Clearwater, Florida?
The ones on the beach?
Yes.
What are they doing?
They just at the beach, I get it. Everybody's got to live. Mm-hmm. I understand that. Mm-hmm. But this is like after the CDC came out and said limit to 50 plus people in the same area, and you have looks like well over 1,000 people at the beach, like pretty much standing shoulder to shoulder, pretty much could start singing Kumbaya at the beach.
And this is why leadership top down has to make those strong statements. Hey, 10 people or fewer. Hey, 50 people or fewer. NBA, MLB, NHL, MLS. No, we're not going to have fans in attendance, and we're going to suspend the season for the foreseeable future because people will still go out. And I don't think there's nothing that I can say. You guys know what I know. You're choosing to believe what you want to believe at this point. There's nothing left for me to say about this. If you want to see how it can progress, how this coronavirus pandemic can progress and what it can do to a country, you've got the same examples to look at that I do. I can tell you to look at Italy. I can tell you to look at France. I can tell you to look at Spain. But you've got that. You know that. If you want to see what worked, South Korea worked. If you want to see what worked, you can go look and see what happened in South Korea. You can go look and see what eventually China was forced to do to try and slow this thing down and flatten that curve out so that everybody's not rushing and getting sick at the same time. New York wants to use dorms, military bases, and other buildings like that as makeshift care centers. They know in a couple of days, in a couple of weeks, this thing is going to overwhelm their medical system, and they're trying to get out in front of it. This is not a joke. It hadn't been a joke for a long time. I don't know what else I can say. I don't know. If you think it's still a hoax and it's not something to be taken as seriously as it's being taken, okay. But look around you and think about the institutions that have closed or suspended operations for the time being. Think about all the billions that these institutions are losing by doing so. 2 days ago, I think it was on Sunday, Starbucks announced, hey, we'll give you your coffee, we'll give you a drink, but we don't want people coming in. Chick-fil-A made a similar announcement yesterday. These are multi-billion-dollar corporations. They're not in the business of losing money. They don't just let hoaxes and fear and panic scare them. Liberal agendas have been around for a long time, people. Conspiracy theorists have been around for a long time. I can't think of a moment where a conspiracy theory or a liberal agenda has stopped NBA seasons or stopped March Madness. Put the MLB opening day on hold. Stop the NFL and what the NFL was trying to do. Shut down Vegas.
Literally shutting down the economy.
Shutting down the economy. I mean, shelter in place in San Francisco was announced yesterday. And that is all but a home quarantine for everybody. That is, you can only go out if you are medically essential and if you need to take care of a loved one who lives in a different house or if you need to run to the grocery store. That's it. And that's in San Francisco. And they had the case at the airport not too far from there where somebody tested positive, and they're trying to do their best to flatten the curve. We are going to get this. People are going to get the coronavirus. If we can spread out over time, though, how many people get it at once, that is better for our medical system. And we won't have to do what Italy is being forced to do, where they have triage units set up, beds set up, little makeshift beds in hospital hallways. And they're making life or death decisions on the regular based off of who may survive and who may not survive. If we can, stay home, quarantine yourself. If we can do those things, maybe we won't go the route of Italy or France or Spain. We just have to do those things. We just have to stay away from one another. And I get it. It is hard. It is not fun to be in a world that is without sports games. We have sports going on because NFL pauses for nothing. They're going to keep this thing rolling.
Right.
But there's no live sporting events going on right now. Nothing with a crowd. WWE popped off 316 day. I love it.
Yeah.
Popped off yesterday again without fans. They did it last week without fans, And bless their hearts, they did it again this week without fans. And it looked like people were having a pretty good time, judging from the reactions on Twitter. Stone Cold is just that dude, though. Stone Cold can be captivating with nobody around.
And I was thinking about this when I saw the video on Twitter. And in my head, I was thinking to myself, like, in a normal situation, like I would prefer the fans be there, like eating this up of him, like catching, multiple beers, over, like cracking open all three of them, clashing together and just pour it on himself. Like,
yeah,
I would love to see fans there eating that up. But it was a little weird just seeing him going through his normal routine. I mean, obviously the show must go on regardless.
Yeah.
But it was still a little bit odd when he went through that routine. Even though that's just that's his thing.
I just imagine, because I know what Stone Cold means to me as the most casual of casual wrestling fans. I can only imagine what a diehard, and I know this is Memphis. We all, if you're not into wrestling, you know somebody who is all the way into it. I know quite a few. I can only imagine their reaction as Stone Cold hangs over the rope. Let me get a hell yeah. I'd imagine everybody in unison was like, hell yeah. How do you not give a hell yeah to Stone Cold when Stone Cold asks for one? People in the crowd or not. I get, say what you want to about WWE. There's a lot that can be said. They still know how to keep you entertained. Like that was an entertaining moment in wrestling history. And I think when we look back on some of the things that we'll remember fondly about this whole ordeal, which it appears we're about to get started on, this will be one of those moments. The wrestling with nobody there, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H and others being charismatic and funny in a way that we're not accustomed to them being without a crowd. But WWE is not in the business of losing this money. And look at them. That WrestleMania, when are we going to do that? Because you got to have WrestleMania with a crowd, one would think. When is that going to happen? They're doing shows without crowds. And if that's not enough for some people, the collective, if that's not enough for the collective to say, hey, this is serious, let's chill out, let's stay at home best we can. If it's not super necessary, let's not go in. If that's not enough, I don't know what is. There's nothing that can be said from this point on, I don't believe. If it's not enough to look up and see wrestling taking place without fans, to see there are no NBA games, MLB opening day being pushed back. Look around, there are no concerts going on. Look around, amusement parks, major amusement parks, Disney World, Disneyland, shut down for the foreseeable future. Vegas, MGM resorts in Vegas, all of the MGMs are closing temporarily. So I think closing is a bit of a strong word, but shutting down temporarily. Look around and think about how it's affecting the other sports. NFL, the Raiders are supposed to be playing in Vegas.
Yeah.
And that stadium probably won't be done.
No.
So they can't go back to Oakland. I don't know where they're gonna go. I know where they can't go.
They already burned that bridge.
They can't
like
go
2 seasons ago.
They can't go to Oakland. So UNLV Stadium?
Yeah. Like
play there?
Their old stadium, the Sam Boyd Field Stadium. I don't know the exact name of it because I know UNLV they built the new football field stadium, whatever. They built another one, and so I guess they can use that their old stadium temporarily until once this virus gets cleared up enough so that the workers can go back and finish it.
Yeah, you hope that happens sooner rather than later. Otherwise, we could be looking at a situation where this is what I don't want to happen. I think we don't like the fact that there's no NBA, that MLB opening games are being pushed back, that there's no MLS or NHL. We don't like the fact that Disney World is closed. We don't like the fact that Vegas is all but shutting down. The dog track, Southland, is announced that they were going to shut their doors for a moment to give this thing time to slow down. We don't like that. I'm not sure what the reaction would be if this affects football, though. And it is affecting football, but it's not affecting the actual games. I'm not sure what that reaction is going to be like. We care about football way differently than we do a lot of these other sports. So I'm not sure, and I hope that not only for safety's sake, but for sports entertainment's sake, we get everything under control by the time of college football, NFL football, so we can get some of those.
Right. And it's already affecting the NFL a little bit because the draft usually you always want the big crowd. You always want the scene of the big crowd where wherever city you go to, like what Philly, Nashville, or maybe in New York. You want the big crowd there. This year you're not gonna get it in Las Vegas, which was supposed to be, I wouldn't say the crown jewel, but it was hyped up to be one of the best.
We'll talk about that and other ways that the Rona is affecting the NFL right now. And don't forget, at 8, we got Anthony Sane. And at 9, we've got Teresa Walker talking Titans. Sane is going to talk Grizzlies and NBA with us at 8. So don't touch that down. We got more to come on Sports 56 mornings right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallow and Stats. Weekday afternoons from 3 till 6. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
I'm here with outstanding team from Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway. They're online at lexusofmemphis.com. Gary, tell everyone how they can experience the Lexus of Memphis satisfaction.
Come in and be a part of our family at Lexus of Memphis. Experience the customer service that we provide to each guest like a member of our own family. If you're on the side of the road and you need us, we're there. If you need help with anything with your car, technology, Bluetooth, the app suite, we have a dedicated team to help you with this in your journey with your Lexus.
That's how they do it at Lexus of Memphis.
Get to Holly Chevrolet in Marion to take advantage of great deals during Holly's 2020 kickoff sale. Right now, get 0% financing for 72 months on the all-new 2020 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab plus $500 cash allowance. Or save up to $4,500 off MSRP plus an additional $1,000 conquest on a new 2020 Chevy Equinox. Stop by today and check out Holly's large selection of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs ready for you to enjoy. And at Holly Chevrolet, it's a no-pressure, no-hassle environment. As a matter of fact, there's no badgers and never pay a dock fee. Find new roads at Exit 14 off I-55 in Marion, just 15 minutes from downtown Memphis. HollyChevrolet.com.
2020 Chevy Silverado 1500, stock number M4007. 2020 Chevy Equinox, stock number M4198. 0% financing on approved credit. All discounts, rebates, and incentives are included and applied. Must qualify and finance for GM Financial and own or lease a 2006 or newer GM product. Prices do not include taxes, tags, and idle registration. Take delivery by 3/31/20. See dealer for details.
Stop waiting and start off-road living in a Can-Am today. The Spring Fever event is now on at Olive Branch Motorsports. Take on every task, trail, and terrain in a Can-Am off-road vehicle that will easily handle anything that comes your way. And for a limited time, get up to $2,500 off on select 2019 models, making it easier than ever to go out and play. Visit Olive Branch Motorsports now at 5656 Goodman Road or online at obmotorcycleatv.com. Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. Their newly renovated drive-in repair shop is open to the public. Whether it'll be your everyday driver, farm equipment, fleet vehicle, or heavy-duty truck, their ASE-certified technicians will get you back on the road. The on-site dyno is ready to run all the necessary diagnostic testing. From preventative maintenance to complete overhauls, Mid-South Power can handle it all. Stop in today at 3288 Mill Branch Road or call 901-396-0710 and online at mid-southpower.com.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdingers offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Down in Jamaica, they got lots of pretty women. Steal your money, then they break your heart. Lonesome Sue, she's in love with old Sam. Taken from the fire into the frying pan, on and on.
Welcome back in.
She just keeps on trying.
Forgot it was Soft Rock Tuesday.
Soft Rock Tuesday
Never can't be stopped. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. No Peter today. Just CJ and Zach talking with you guys. We talked a lot about the coronavirus and where we stand as a society right now. In that first segment, we touched on NFL and what the NFL is going through right now. Also, we're going to talk more about that. You guys can be a part of the show. Text in 67129, First Bank text lines, 67129 on the First Bank text lines, or call us 360-8255 on the First Bank phone line. So a couple of days ago, the NFL announced that, hey, we're not going to do the whole draft thing the same. Zach alluded to it before we went to break, but the NFL was trying to give Vegas that first major sporting event, the draft, and we know being around the corner from Nashville what the impact financially on the economy is for the NFL draft. We saw what happened up in Nashville, and this was going to be in Vegas. And so this was going to be a wonderful introduction for all parties. Vegas to the NFL and the NFL to Vegas. And it was going to be a show unlike any show that I think we've seen. They were going to have the draftees come out on boats to kick it on this stage that was going to be floating in water somewhere. It was going to be a real spectacle. But you can't do that now because of the way we're trying to social distance ourselves from one another for the betterment of society. Also, the NFL announced some other things. While the league, the new league start date is the same, they are pushing off-season back some. So on April the 6th, teams with new head coaches were going to be allowed to return. We're going to be allowed into NFL facilities to start their year. April 20th, teams with the same head coach were going to be allowed to come through into those facilities, and both of those dates have been pushed back. And they're going to meet with one another and try and stay up to date on all the news that is breaking because things are changing minute by minute, it feels like. So they are going to push those two dates back for the offseason start. Also, with free agency going on right now, you can still sign players, but the NFL is not going to allow medical staff and team personnel to be flown out to visit with players. They also don't want players, free agents, being flown in and coming into the team facilities either. So that is something new. And many times the face-to-face is where you can sell or hurt yourself on a potential landing spot, a potential destination. And so they are not going to be allowing that to go on either. Like I said, no drafts. And the draft is not going to take place the way that we're accustomed to NFL drafts taking place. I don't know what they've got planned. It's still going to go on as a live sporting event, but I would imagine it would be everybody via phone or Skype or some sort of remote situation.
Yeah, I think the draft. I want to say the draft is still going to be the same. I'm not sure.
What do you mean same?
Like
same date?
No, same it's the between. Was April 23rd through the 25th.
Yep.
I'm not quite sure if like the draftees are going to be there with their families. I'm not sure if they're going to be there unless we're just doing.
What do you mean? No, they're not going to be there.
They're not going. Okay.
They can't be there.
Okay.
You can't. The CDC has recommended groups of 10 not gather.
All right.
And that's way more than 10.
Okay, so we gonna kick this thing back old school then, where we gotta where they're sitting at the house waiting on the phone call to come through.
And that's the thing. I this is going to be interesting. We're going to watch because we care about college stars. We care about CD Lambs of the world. We care about the Tua Tagovailoas and the Joe Burrows of the Chase Youngs of the world. We're going to watch. I'm just curious as to what it's going to be. It's not going to be near the spectacle though that it was. What they had planned for it to be, certainly, or that it's been in years past. All those people there screaming, hollering, booing Roger Goodell. That's what I'm going to miss the most. I'm going to miss Roger Goodell walking out on that stage and hearing all of the boos. That's what I want to hear.
So is Goodell doing all 7 rounds, or is he going to delegate some of that responsibility?
He always delegates. I would think that he would delegate this. This would be no different except for the crowds involved, and you want to limit your touching, certainly, and you want to stay 6 feet away from people, and it's hard to do that when a young man gets drafted into the NFL and he's like, my God, I've made more money now. I'm about to sign a contract for more money than my family has ever seen in the totality of their lives. That sort of joy and jubilation, that leads to things like people getting bear hugged. That leads to really strong, I think painful. Like, you can't be coming up bro hugging me like some of these dudes are with the smack on the back. No, that situation lends itself to those reactions, and it should, and it's fun to see. It is fun to see Roger Goodell announce somebody's name and the player run up on stage, tears in his eyes, grab Roger Goodell, pick him up, bear hug him, pin him down like my bad, commissioner, and walk off. Those things are fun. We aren't going to see those, though. And we still get the draft April 23rd through April 25th, but it'll be a much different version of the draft. And this is affecting the player scouting as well with the draft, because one of the big things that helps, especially those prospects in the 6th, 7th undrafted free agent range, is your individual pro day. Everybody doesn't get to go to the combine. Everybody doesn't get to go to Indianapolis.
Yeah, I think like by you bringing that up, I think, like you said, it will be interesting, because I honestly, in the past, not to say that teams in the past haven't taken risk on different players in different situations, but now the fact that, like you said, teams kind of limit their travel, like limit how many people are on the road and limit where they're going to go. Now teams are going to have to legitimately base it on the production and the game tape that they have, or the film that they have on certain players. They have to make up their minds on the convictions of, okay, like I get it, Chase Young at number 2 for Washington. I get it, second best, probably maybe the best player in the draft. But I mean, like, Tua sitting here right in front of us, might be our guy. Do you want to take a chance on Tua, knowing that we didn't get a chance to see his pro day, or do we just go for it?
Or the medical records? That's
right.
The thing. You want to get your medical people, your medical team in place to look at these guys, because you trust them more than you trust anybody else. How does this? You're spot on with the Tua thing. Tua is the example that I think everybody can rock with, and everybody can see and understand. Tua's got injuries, not just the hip, but the ankle injuries that led to the eventual hip injury. You would like to get your medical staff in there, people who you trust more than Alabama's medical staff, more than just the general NFL staff, the people who you know, and you've got a system in place with. You want to get him in there with those people so you can get a good look at him, and so you can see if he is somebody that you are seriously thinking about taking, that you should take, that you could take without his body breaking down. That is huge, and that's not going to happen this year. Also, moving from the Tua Tagovailoas of the world, because Tua's going to be fine. Tua's going to get drafted. They're as great as Alabama has been, as great as LSU was, Ohio State, throw Oklahoma in there, Clemson. There are dudes who are seniors fifth-year seniors who are in this draft, some guys who left early to be in this draft who did not do all of the drills at the combine, or Joe Burrows didn't throw at the combine, which is not going to matter, I don't think. But teammates of his didn't get invited to the combine. Teammates in Clemson of Etienne's didn't get invited to the combine, and they are your mid to late round prospects. They need these pro days to showcase what they can do to NFL teams. It's enough to have it's great to have stuff on film, but the pro days, the drills, the 40 times, those all go to explain a little bit more about you. And it's one thing to see you pop on screen. It's another thing to be able to explain why that pop is there and to get a better understanding for what you are physically as a football player. And it's teams' chances to get to talk to these young guys, to these young men out there and see, okay, is he in the right headspace? Is this somebody we can roll with? It's a chance for somebody who might be a 7th round undrafted type of guy to really make an impression on somebody. And then that body say, you know what, we can take him in the 6th round. This is somebody we feel comfortable in taking. I graduated from Tuskegee University. TU, somebody said, y'all don't know nothing about that. Not a whole lot of people are getting pro day invites from Tuskegee. Not a whole lot of people are getting invites to the NFL Combine from Tuskegee. Not a whole lot of people are getting invites from places like Lane. Not a whole lot of people are getting invites from places like East Tennessee or MTSU to the NFL Combine. Tennessee State, people aren't getting a whole lot of invites from that. Southern Miss, people aren't getting a ton of invites from places like that. So the NFL, with the pro day, having scouts on hand for these individual schools' pro days helps to get those guys on the radar as well. And this is huge. This is one of the unintended consequences, not unintended, but one of the consequences that I think we forget about when we think about all the temporary cancellations of sporting events, travel, things like that, is the fact that this for the little people, the little guys, really, really hurts, really hits home. So it's one thing to think, oh man, Joe Burrow's not going to get the throw. I wonder what that means. Tua Tagovailoa is not going to get a chance to go through go to Washington's medical staff and show them that his body is in one piece and ready to roll. He's not going to get the opportunity. But players like that are going to be fine. Players like that are still going to get drafted, still going to get paid, and still going to be given opportunities. It is the young man at a Jackson State who could go out there on a pro day and really show something at the pro day, really impress somebody with the 40 time to then get people interested, hyper interested in his tape. It is the young man at Jacksonville State who maybe puts up something pretty impressive on the bench, has good measurables, and it is, okay, he's a guard. He's a tackle at this level. He might be a guard at the NFL level. Let's look at the film and see what we can do with this guy. It's those guys who are really going to be hurt tremendously by the lack of travel and by NFL teams not wanting to put medical staff or their own staffs at risk of spreading this disease.
Which still comes into play as far as these NFL teams have scouts in different parts of the country, and they all come together however many times of the year to discuss whatever prospect in that area, whether they are highly regarded or those that are like those hidden gems. Like, they come together to discuss those prospects. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that they don't see the Jackson States or the TSUs or the Mississippi State type of players. Because honestly, with me, I think they are more than aware of the players that are in this draft. Which again comes into play with the whole idea of, I mean, you're pretty much taking a risk here. You're pretty much, I wouldn't say rolling the dice blind, but you're really taking a risk because all you have to bank on is the game film. Mm-hmm. And and then you kind of throw in like a little bit of the pro days, depending on how many pro days that you were able to get in before they shut everything down. But you're banking on the NFL Combine. If they made it to the Combine, you're banking on the pro days that were available to those said players in those areas, and on top of that, you most importantly you're banking on the film. You're banking on the production that they had in college.
Yeah, you still have the film, and that's the biggest thing I would think. But every now and then we get one of these combine freaks, one of these pro day freaks, and it turns out being a good move to get them late in the NFL draft. A lot of players didn't go to the combine and still got drafted later in the draft, and it turned out to be a net positive for them. A lot of players quarterbacks immediately come to mind. A lot of players don't go through all of the combine drills and then do them all at their pro day for whatever reason. Joe Burrow, most recent example, didn't throw at the combine. I can't remember the last time a top quarterback threw at the combine. Somebody who were like, okay, this is going to be the first or second quarterback taken off the board. All of those guys decide to throw during their pro day usually. And for there not to be a pro day really hurts from a scouting standpoint. You want as much information on these guys as you can get, and that's just one more piece that you're missing. So while the film is great, the combine does help. What's my man's name? Simmons. Combine numbers were ridiculous. Clemson linebacker safety.
Isaiah Simmons.
We knew he was special. We knew that he was all over the place on the football field. And then you see the combine numbers, and it is, okay, that is how he's doing it. That is how he is able to keep this thing rolling. And the combine goes to explain a lot of things about your ability. It also goes to explain why you might not be as good in other facets of the game and how best to utilize you. DK Metcalf turns like a boat, apparently. Just no hip swivel at all. DK is big, he is physical, he is fast. So we knew that from film. We knew that from the combine. He gets to Seattle, and how do we use DK? Like a big physical fast dude. Just go, and we'll throw it up to you. You go up there, and you get it. And he had a real good season with the Seahawks. Like the combine goes to explain some of the things that you aren't able to do also, so that when teams draft you, they know how to use you in the best possible way. We will, coming back from break, we'll talk more about that and some other news, the NBA and what's going on over there. And then at 8 o'clock, we're going to be joined by Anthony Sane. So don't you dare touch that dial. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings right here on 560 AM, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on AM 560, 96.1 FM, or 87.7 FM.
Tiger Hoops fans have something extra to look forward to this coming March. Not only is it tournament time, but it's the opening of the Tiger Hoops exhibit at the Pink Palace Museum.
After Finch's two-pointer, Ronnie Robinson sank the shot that once again brought the two teams into a tie.
Come to the Pink Palace Museum this March and experience 100-plus years of Tiger men's and women's basketball, from their beginnings as the West Tennessee State Normal School to the present.
The Tigers are very much alive.
Don't miss the Tiger Hoops exhibit at the Pink Palace Museum, opening March 7th.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
It's a new year and it's a new look for 117 Prime, Memphis's premier downtown dining destination. Before you even get to the entrees, you'll enjoy starters better than anywhere else in Memphis. Fresh oysters from the best raw bar downtown, with both Gulf oysters and flavorful East Coast oysters. There's also the perfect shrimp cocktail, the char grilled oysters, the Rockefeller oysters with spinach and garlic cream, or the Low Country oysters with Benton bacon and braised leeks. From the very start, 117 Prime will make your visit truly special. It's a new year. Come see the new 117 Prime.
At First Bank Mortgage, their core purpose is to help you get to a better place. That better place may be a lower monthly payment, that vacation you thought was impossible, or getting into a home with a fenced backyard where your kids can play. To get into your better place, First Bank Mortgage makes decisions right here at home. Dedicated to helping you get to your better place, First Bank Mortgage. Call Daniel Mooney at 901-462-0145 today. NMLS 741022. Equal housing lender.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Welcome back. Sports 56 Mornings with Peter and CJ. No Peter today, but you got CJ and Zach still. This breaking news. I'm going to read this full statement from Tom Brady. This starts with, quote, "I wanted to say thank you to all of the incredible fans and Patriot supporters. MA, that's Massachusetts, has been my home for 20 years. It has truly been the happiest 2 decades I could have envisioned in my life, and I have nothing but love and gratitude for my time in New England. The support has been overwhelming. I wish every player could experience it. My children were born and raised here, and you always embrace this California kid as your own. I love your commitment and loyalty to your teams, and winning for our city means more than you will ever know. I can't thank you enough for the support of our team, the packed training camps and sold-out stadiums, and mostly the victory parades. I've been so blessed to share them all with you. I tried to represent us always in the best and most honorable way, and I fought hard with my teammates to help bring victory and triumph even in the most dire situations. You opened your heart to me, and I opened my heart to you, and Pats Nation will always be a part of me. I don't know what my football future holds, but it is time for me to open a new stage for my life and career. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I will always love you and what we have shared. A lifetime full of fun memories." That from Tom Brady. Shefty sent that tweet out. So it's looking like the next big domino, or I really want to say the biggest domino in this year's free agency, Tom Brady. It looks like he is leaving. He is out at New England. Where could he land? Not really sure. The Titans just gave Ryan Tannehill all of that money. The Raiders just grabbed Marcus Mariota. The Chargers out there looking for a quarterback, though. I mean, Phillip Rivers is still out in free agency. Also, Teddy Bridgewater, part of a really loaded from a name standpoint, and I think from a talent standpoint also, free agency class. I don't know. Zach?
Yeah, Ian Rappaport just tweeted it out saying that the Bucs made a strong offer to Tom Brady to believed to be about $30 million or more. And he said that the Chargers made an offer as well. So we'll see how that plays out. And like you mentioned, like Phillip Rivers is still out there. Mm-hmm. And honestly, like I would rather and this is just me. I'd rather have Phillip Rivers than Tom Brady, because I know that Phillip Rivers will push the ball down the field. Now, granted, he's not the Phillip Rivers of like the last 5 years or so, but he is still capable of pushing the ball down the field. With Tom Brady, I just like Tom can't move like when you need him to move.
So you've got Brady, Rivers, Bridgewater, Winston, all big names still out there from a quarterback standpoint, all with the exception of Jameis, I do believe still capable of being starting quarterbacks. We saw what Teddy Bridgewater was able to do down in New Orleans in his 6 games with the Saints. I do believe when Drew Brees went out with the thumb injury, we saw how effective he was with that team, getting them to a pretty good win-loss record and keeping them in the chase for first seed, a 1 seed, a 2 seed last year. And I don't know, man. This is wild. I never thought I'd see the day Brady was no longer a Patriot, but it happens. And honestly, it happens there being New England, with the way that Belichick likes to run things. And it makes sense for it to be run that way. And Belichick had his quarterback, I do believe, in Jimmy Garoppolo, his heir apparent in Jimmy G. And Brady kind of forced his hand and forced him to trade him by going to Kraft, going over Belichick's head and going to Robert Kraft.
Yeah, I was getting ready to mention that because it was because that whole like situation a couple of years ago with that because Belichick, like I said, he wanted Jimmy G to be the successor, but it's just the fact that Tom Brady went to Robert Kraft about it.
Mm-hmm. And now look at where the Patriots
right.
are. Brady is gone, and it makes sense to let him go. But like I don't know who you have, how comfortable you are with that quarterback room. And this is where it gets real interesting.
And that's another thing, because easily forget, like, the Patriots need a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, like this year's free agent quarterback, class is not that good. And so I don't know. I'm just gonna throw this out there because of what happened yesterday. Like, if you Bill Belichick, are you making a call to the Texans about Deshaun Watson?
If they're dumb enough to let Deshaun go, yes. And why wouldn't they be dumb enough to let Deshaun go? They would be. That would be a Bill O'Brien type thing to do.
Because
why do you let DeAndre? They're not doing this, Zach. Letting DeAndre go because they or trading DeAndre Hopkins because they don't want to win. They're trying to set up for the future. They're doing this to avoid paying DeAndre Hopkins, which Bill Belichick is the king of trading quality players to avoid playing them on the tail end of their productive years.
Right.
Bill O'Brien is letting DeAndre Hopkins go, and I'm not sure if he's peaked yet on his productive years. He is stupid. And yes, if you find the sucker, go lick it. Go find them.
Right.
And if they are going to be willing, and I would think there's no way they'd be willing to move on from Deshaun Watson. That's what I would think. But I don't know what to think now. They gave up DeAndre Hopkins for a second-round pick and a dude who I'm not sure can play running back anymore because of injuries.
Because
that's wild. And then they go out there and they let DeAndre Hopkins go because they didn't want to give him more money, which, okay, whatever. $12 million is what he was going to be paid. They go out there and get, what's my man's name from Dallas, the number 3 receiver?
Randall Cobb.
They get Randall Cobb, $18.7 million guaranteed. Get out of here.
You can have him.
Get out of here.
You can have him.
Get out of here. I don't know what in the hell the Texans are doing. But, yeah, if they're interested, sure. But this is where the previous conversation we had, this is where the fact that you aren't bringing in some of these guys into your facility and you're not going out to talk to them, this is where this kind of hurts a little bit. Because the Patriots, if anybody can find a way, it's Bill Belichick, could find a way to fleece somebody out of Tua if he's really comfortable with what the medical records say, and if he's comfortable with him as a leader.
And that's another thing. And I know we're about to get into go into our break, and that's another thing. Like, because the Patriots have for years have not been big on trading players or trading up in the draft. Will we see that this year, knowing that they don't have a quarterback and right now the top 3 quarterbacks are going into the top 5. So who knows?
We'll see. We'll talk more about that at 8:30. Anthony Sane is up next right here on Sports 56 Mornings. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Pop Wigington has been in the restaurant business since the 70s and has now brought 3 generations of family favorites together under one roof at Pop's Comfort Kitchen, 2990 Kirby Whitten Parkway next to Kroger. Pop's takes you back to a simpler time when food and life was more wholesome. Settle down today for lunch or dinner at Pop's with daily specials like country fried steak, fried catfish, chicken and dumplings, or Pop's famous fried chicken livers, all served up with your choice of 23 fresh vegetables like field peas and snaps, seasoned green beans, sweet corn and turnip greens. Hungry for a sandwich? Check out the Chuck, a hand-patted cheeseburger between 2 grilled cheese buns topped with lettuce, tomato, diced onion, pickles, fried egg, and bacon. Or a half-pound flat iron steak sandwich served on Texas toast. Don't forget one of Grandma's homemade desserts like chess pie or banana pudding. Take comfort today at Pop's Comfort Kitchen, 2990 Kirby Whitten Parkway next to Kroger. Pop's Comfort Kitchen.
Frontier Western Store is proud to announce their T-shirt sale is back. All regularly priced novelty T-shirts are buy one, get a second half price. Tons of new prints by Simply Southern, Girly Girl, and Puppy Love, as well as men's tees by Live Oak and Haybo are included. Frontier's women's boutique is loaded with new styles and colors in current trends of tops, tunics, and dresses. And most are just $14.99, available small to 3X. While you're there, be sure to check out Frontier's world-famous boot showroom. Shop thousands of boots year-round that are in stock, ready to try on and take home. Shop at a local store with excellent service. With their extensive selection of dress and work boots, you are certain to find your next favorite pair. Frontier receives new styles and restocks daily from all the largest boot makers: Dan Post, Durango, Rocky, Ariat, and more. Available in men's, women's, or children's. Outfit the entire family. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Into the unknown.
Are you headed into the unknown with the digital marketing for your business?
Into the unknown.
Maybe you could create the best digital content for your ad campaigns, but it's unknown whether you will find the time. Or maybe measuring the results and analytics is unknown for you. Digital Mid-South can help you with the unknowns of digital marketing, website development, graphic design, social media marketing, search engine optimization, online video marketing, e-commerce, and more. Check out digitalmidsouth.com to learn how you can help with your online digital advertising campaigns, or call Brian White at 901-375-9324. That's Brian White, 901-375-9324. digitalmidsouth.com. Digital content creation, delivery, and management.
Hi, this is Rob Brown. Join Pete Cordelli and me Saturdays 8 to 9 a.m. for Sidelines here on Sports 56 WHBQ, 87.7 FM, and 96.1. We'll cover the Memphis Tigers, the SEC, and your favorite team. Give us a call. That's Sidelines, Saturday mornings 8 to 9 a.m. Sidelines is presented by Duncan Williams Asset Management. So get up and give us a call.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and C.J. Hurt. Here once again are Peter and C.J.
Spending all my nights, all my money, going out on the town, doing anything just to get you off of my mind. But when the morning comes, I'm right back where I started.
Who is this?
again.
This is the player.
Okay. This is a song for all the sports fans right here. This is for y'all. Sports, come back! Everybody's waiting, wanting live sporting events to come back desperately. And I get it. I do. But it's best right now for everybody to practice social distancing, stay out of groups of 10 or more. Went from 250 to 50 to 10 now in the span of less than a week. So this thing changes literally hour by hour what the situation is and what we can do to combat it. So please stay up to date, and we'll do our best to keep you up to date right here on 560 AM, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. No Peter today, Sports 56 Mornings, just CJ and Zach. And now, the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Sane, at Sane Asylum on Twitter, writes for, covers the Grizzlies for Sports Illustrated, knows all things Grizzlies. Really, what's going on, Anthony? How's it going?
My God, what's going on? I'm good, man. Well, Peter, he ain't got that Rona.
No, he don't got that Rona. He's got vacation days though, so with spring break being the case, you know. Got to get some time off to hang out with the kids, and so he's out doing that right now. And by out, I mean at the house, doing that, hanging out, trying to spend quality time with the kids before coming back to work in there, trying to figure out what's next. As schools are, I know Shelby County is the next 2 weeks. I think everybody is the next 2 weeks by order of the governor. Am I mistaken?
They
pushed it.
Okay, so everybody's
the
next
back another week.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I know my alma mater is Tuskegee. They're out till the end of April. So the Rona is hitting us all pretty hard, not just from a school standpoint, but from a NBA standpoint as well. How have you been coping, man, with no NBA going on right now in the wake of the coronavirus epidemic?
Yeah, man, this is trash, bro. Like I went from being a Grizzlies reporter to a CDC mouthpiece or whatever. I've having to write about the coronavirus all day, give people instant updates of how the coronavirus is affecting the NBA. That's the last thing I thought I'd be writing about this season. But man, like I said, I'm blessed, man. You know what I mean? I have a job where I get to cover the NBA following 20-something-year-old millionaires around. You know, that type of stuff. So that's the least of my worries. You know what I mean? Like I could be in a much worse situation. I'm blessed, man. So it's something not having the games, but it's all good.
Jaren Jackson Jr. tweeted out, so all of the players are doing their best to not only help out staff members in their respective stadiums. Rudy Gobert, Kevin Love, and others have made pledges to make sure that those hourly workers continue to get paid. But some of the players are on Twitter having fun. You see what's my man, John Morant going around having the when you miss the season, the TikTok video. He's in full uniform. I didn't know they could take those home.
When he came out in the full uniform, I was tripping. Looked like he had that jersey. Well, our jersey slick looks like a replica anyway, but it looked like he had a replica jersey. I might be wrong.
Which would be perfect. If you're a professional athlete, you do. I mean, you got to get yourself a replica jersey of yourself, don't you?
Yeah.
So he's coming out to the PA announcer, and he's dressed full garb all the way.
Like it was his dad.
Was it his dad? I didn't know if he had a recording or something in the house. It was great, having a good time. Jaren Jackson Jr. sent this tweet out yesterday, and I about fell off the couch. We're going to be so hyped when basketball is back that even Tyus might dunk. It's like, oh, now that you mention it, are we sure Tyus Jones can dunk? I hadn't seen him dunk.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if he has hops or not. But, you know, the funny thing about this whole thing as far as the quarantine is concerned with NBA players is like, you know, they're asking NBA players to self-quarantine, which basically means they sit at home and play video games all day, which is basically what they do all the time. So I'm like, I don't really think they're too messed up about that whole aspect.
Right. But it is rough not having games, and the NBA is saying that maybe they can get things back by June. What do you think that would look like from a Grizzlies standpoint? If the NBA says, hey, we're going to go ahead and go to the playoffs, straight to the playoffs in June, do you think they're going to do a full playoff, or would you expect them to try and shorten that some?
I expect it. I think that the regular season is probably over. I don't think they're going to play any regular season games. I've seen some scenarios where they're saying give teams 5 games as a tune-up to kind of close up some of the, finalize some of the standings, as well as give teams a tune-up for the playoffs instead of just letting teams go into it cold. Because if you think about like the Grizzlies, if they start the playoffs today, Justice Winslow's first game with the Grizzlies would be game 1 against the Lakers in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, we're not in a position where we would complain about that, but that's kind of what it would look like. As far as how they would do the playoffs, I've seen some scenarios where they're saying do it 30 teams and do like these different type of formats. And these, I'm not really a fan of it. I think if they can keep it to just the regular tournament style like they have, maybe do the first round 3 games or something like that. I mean, best of 5 instead of best of 7. I could see something like that maybe, but not anything dramatic as far as changing the actual format of putting all 30 teams in or anything like that. I think, but honestly, bro, whatever they do,
you just
whatever
want it
they
back.
do, I'm down. Yeah, man, I got to see some more games. You don't really think about how much this stuff engulfs your life, man, until it's gone. You know what I mean? And until it's gone at the wrong time, because we are prepared for the off season. Having the season stop literally in the middle of a playoff race, it's different. You know, it is rough.
How have you been? You've got to fill that void. What have you been filling the void with?
Oh, well, I've had my son since Friday. I'm
Okay.
taking him home today. Yeah, so me and him have spent a lot of time together. Just, hanging out with friends and people that, actually matter outside of what I do for a living. So it's been cool.
All right. So if the season doesn't pick up, then I know best case scenario we all want to cheer for the best case scenario and operate like we're in a best case scenario until otherwise. If something happens in the season, not only regular season but the playoffs gets severely shortened, to 4 teams or 8 teams total, not 8 teams from each conference, but the top 4 in each conference. What do you think about this Grizzlies season? How do you think that it will be remembered outside of the corona canceling the season?
I think you're still looking at an extremely fun season, and definitely an historic season in the history of the franchise, where a team who averages, I think, still the youngest team in the NBA, winning on the way that they did, surprising people the way that they did. I think it's still, we're still in a rebuild. You know what I mean? So it's counting this as year 1 of the rebuild. You're still looking at an amazing season, regardless of how it ends. Sure, we would like to see them in the playoffs or finish the season. But, it is what it is. Some things we just can't control, but you're still looking at an historic season for the franchise.
And with the franchise, the historic season would be in large part due to how phenomenal John Morant has been playing out there. Just his decision making. It's been a while since we've seen him do something spectacularly. Just look at some of his missed dunks, his near posters over Kevin Love and Anthony Davis and others. To see what he is physically, but mentally, his IQ on the court, his decision-making. When teams have made adjustments to him and have taken him out of games, he's found ways in the next game or within the next week to be able to adapt to those adjustments so that you can't take him away. What do you think this would do if he only plays, like 50 or so games? What do you think this will do for his overall development in year 2?
Well, I still think it helps. I mean, you can't take away the games that he's actually played in, and he's played in meaningful games. He hasn't just been out there losing and just, with a team, with an organization that's not trying to do anything. That's been, doing time management and load management with him. He's been playing in meaningful minutes and finishing games and playing against some of the best point guards in the world. And I think that that's something you can't take back, regardless if he plays 50 games or 60 or 82 or the playoffs or whatever he does. I think it's still going to be good for him. But just another nod to this Grizzlies organization, going back to I was saying about this being a historical run. Talked to some people from the Live Sports Bureau, and they said that this Grizzlies team would be the second youngest playoff team ever to make the playoffs, behind the 2009 Thunder team, that youngest possible Thunder team when they first made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I think they said counting players who actually play, that team would beat this Grizzlies team as far as youth is concerned. But when you add old men like Gorgie Ding, that's a joke, of course, but you add a 30-year-old, that throws off your whole rotation. And then Anthony Tolliver has an asterisk beside his age, so that kind of threw off. We're still investigating how old Tolliver is, but yeah.
I was talking with my wife maybe Sunday and discussing the Grizzlies and what's going on without sports. And she was like, well, this will be a day where you would probably be at the Forum or something like that. It's like, yeah, probably. And I miss those kids. She's like, why are you calling them kids? It's like, well, because
they're kids.
They're young. They're young.
Yeah.
And I pulled up the roster, and I just started, and I got in trouble for it. I'm sorry. But I got into a bit of trouble because I was like, hey, I was reading off players' names. Like, hey, is he older or younger than you, baby? Grayson Allen. Let's do it. He's younger than you are. Jaren Jackson Jr., yes, he's young. And went through the whole roster, and with the exception of Jang, like, that's it. Everybody. Jonas plays a style of basketball that makes me think he's older than what he is. But when you look at his age, Jonas is like 27. My God, this team is really young.
Relatively young. Yeah. He's about the age of prime Marcus All now. and that was so you got to think about it. That was a while ago. You know what I mean? So he's still a pretty young guy. There's a bunch of guys on this team who, if they stayed, all 4 years of college, would still be in college. I think it's like 5 or 6 guys like that. They're extremely young, man. And I think we kind of forget about that. But if you look at them as outside of NBA players and just look at them as adults or individuals in the country, they're young. They're kids. They're college age young men. So what they're doing is truly remarkable.
And it goes to show how developed and how mature and that basketball IQ, not only we talked about it with Ja, but with everybody out there, that they play such a style and they play in such a way with such poise and composure that you forget that they are, if they stayed 4 years, like I'm pretty sure Tyus Jones would be in his 4th year right now if he had stayed. I'd have to go back and double check that. But these are really young players, but their poise has been so surprising. And we're not used to seeing teams this young. I can't think of a team. You brought up that Thunder team when they were super young. But outside of that, I can't think of another team that's doing what the Grizzlies have done so far, being in control of the 8th seed. The 8th seed was supposed to go through Memphis, and they have full control of that, and they be so young.
Right. And like I've told a lot of fans, because whenever I write an article or something, and I use words like no one predicted the Grizzlies to be here, you'll get fans, of course, oh, yeah, I predicted this. I'm like, bro, you didn't predict this. every season, like Dallas Cowboys fans holler out, oh, the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl. So hearing the fans say, yeah, they're going to be good, there was no rational thought in thinking the Grizzlies would be this good. You know what I mean? Like I said, this is historic, man. You're talking about the second youngest team ever to make the playoffs if they are to hold on or they end the season, whatever they're doing. That's something that no one saw coming, and they're just extremely poised, like I said, and just to imagine how these guys will be years from now. Jaren, Josh Jackson, Dylan Brooks, how good these guys could be, on down the line is really scary.
Throw Brandon Clark into that mix.
Oh, yeah, well. Brandon Clark. Yeah,
it's easy to forget about Brandon Clark because we hadn't seen him in so long.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind. Yeah.
But he's been really good for this team and every bit as efficient in the NBA as he was in college. We're talking with Anthony Sane of Sports Illustrated. Follow him on Twitter at Sane Asylum. I want to shift gears a little bit, Anthony, and talk about some of the pieces in this Grizzlies organization outside of the players. Let's start with Taylor Jenkins and the job that he's done. We talk about Ja Morant being in his first year and everybody Brandon Clark being in his first year and everybody being really young. This is Taylor Jenkins' first time as a head coach. What do you think about the job that he's done so far?
He snuck up on me. I didn't expect anything from him. I expected him to be one of those guys that's just a transitional coach who he's here in the beginning, who wouldn't really mind losing. One of those guys who, as the team goes through this rough times, is just teaching them fundamentals of basketball, implementing a new style of play. And I figured, once Ja and Jaren get good, Brandon Clark get good, they'll end up hiring the actual coach that they'll use for the future, once they get past this rebuilding stage. But the guy's got the juice, man. Like, he's still got a lot to learn as far as certain in-game situations, which is understandable. And he kind of, I'm a volleyball dad, and I used to hate watching volleyball because the rotations were set.
Yeah,
and it's not like a hot hand sport, like where the girl's hot, she stays in the game. Like when it's time for her to rotate out, she's coming out.
Right.
So that's kind of how Jenkins does things sometimes. So that kind of gets frustrating. But as far as like where his voice and his DNA trickle down 1 through 15, like he has that now, and that's something you typically don't see in a first year coach. Where, like, I'm in the locker room every game. Well, not now, of course, but I'm in the locker room.
The memories,
right? Of being in the locker room. But when the team loses a game, his demeanor, like I said, trickles down 1 through 15. Like they keep it even keel. Like they're not back there screwing around or joking. Like losses don't matter. But you can tell that they've been taught or pepped up or pepped down accordingly, depending on what Taylor Jenkins needs to do with the team. And that's something it's been a way that way the whole season. And I think that's something that he's ahead of the curve on as far as being a leader of young men. And I think that's a huge part of coaching. A lot of people don't understand that he's pretty much mastered almost to this point.
And this is where coaching matters. It might not matter from an X's and O's standpoint. There's only so many things that 5 players on a basketball court can do. But from a managing of players and personalities, this is where coaches really separate themselves. And I've talked about it on this show a couple of times. At the start of the year, Taylor Jenkins would call Ja Morant over, and it would be a monologue with Jenkins telling Ja what needs to happen, and Ja kind of just nodding his head like, okay, I got you. Midway through, by mid-December, maybe early January, it became more of a dialogue between the two, where Ja is visibly asking Taylor Jenkins, hey, what do you think about this? And Jenkins saying yay or nay to Ja's thoughts. And now, well, not now because of the games, but here recently it's been a monologue the other way. Taylor Jenkins has allowed the relationship to progress naturally to a point where now Ja Morant is, hey, coach, real quick, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm going to do. Jenkins says, okay, and Ja goes back out there and does it. He has found a way, and this is tough. This is hard for everybody, coaches, general managers, team presidents or governors, what have you. It's hard for everybody to do this, but empower the people below you to make better decisions and empower them and give them confidence through you to go out there and do what need be done. And Taylor Jenkins is great at doing that and has a different relationship with all of the different personalities on the team. A lot of times coaches try, I think this is what got Beeline, coaches try to have the same relationship with all of the team. You can't do that because everybody on the team is different. Taylor Jenkins has unique relationships with these players, genuine relationships with these players, and you see him empowering them to play better basketball, and it's good to see from a coach so young.
And it's another thing too. Like when I first got a real glimpse of Coach Jenkins in a coaching-esque environment was at the open practice, and he did something totally different with the open practice as far as making it almost like a field day type, May Day back in the day, May Day at school situation where it was a bunch of like PE. They were playing a bunch of PE games with the players and with the fans. I was like, man, I've never seen that before. And it was just this real loose, free, like I said, it was like a PE class type environment. And I was like, I said, this guy just comes off as a PE coach. Like he's got this jolly presence about himself. And that's things he's implemented. And I think that's actually led to a lot of the camaraderie shooting team and just the fun environment they have. Like, well, he'll play kickball at the end of practice with the guys. And it's like, it is like they have this insane locker room chemistry and this insane camaraderie towards each other, and it's amazing to see with this team.
And because they're so young, and the Grizzlies front office, I want to talk about them in a minute. We'll talk about them now, actually. The Grizzlies front office has gotten a really young core together and has gotten everybody who you would think would be a pivotal piece of the core, with the exception of maybe one in Josh Jackson, signed up for the next 2 or 3 years. What do you think about the job that the front office has done in acquiring talented young players?
I think they've done a phenomenal job. When you look at the things they've done, like this summer, when they turned, I can't even think of his name right now.
Mike Conley?
No, not of course the Mike Conley trade, but that we traded to Phoenix, the point guard that we had.
Carter, Javon Carter.
Yeah, we turned Javon Carter into the Anthony Melton and Josh Jackson, plus future second-round picks. I mean, come on, man. What are we talking about? You got 2 rotation players that you traded for a guy who's having a good season in Javon, but you turned your second-round pick the year before into 2 young, high-level rotation players so far this season, plus future second-round picks. There's just a testament of what this front office is doing, man. They're just making smart moves constantly. And then you get Justice Winslow, a guy who John Morant says he looks at as almost like a coach coach on the floor who's off the floor at this point, who he gets advice from, who he talks about his vision, his playmaking in the building, who when he's healthy, when he's ready to go, which by the time we play, I'm sure he'll be ready. Of course, but just you turn basically a guy in Iggy and Andre Iguodala, you turn basically nothing into, plus Jay Crowder's contract, into Winslow, and then you flip Solomon Hill, you turn that into James Johnson's contract, who you trade for Gorgie James, who's one of the best backup centers in the NBA, and you're just constantly adding on top of adding. Not to mention the Mike Conley trade, which continues to give, and once this Corona thing is over with, and Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell can't stand each other, that Utah team's probably going to break up. So it's just constant, just great moves and forward thinking about the Grizzlies organization.
All right, that's Anthony Sane, covers the Grizzlies for Sports Illustrated. Follow him on Twitter at Sane Asylum on there. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe, man.
Appreciate you. All right, bro. Anthony
Sane, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk more NFL. We're going to talk because breaking news for those of you who may have missed it, as I slow down a bit, Tom Brady on Twitter announced that he will not be returning to the Patriots. Quote, Patriots Nation will always be a part of me. We're going to talk about that and more right here on Sports 56 Mornings on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. Weekday afternoons from 1 to 3. Here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
These seats are amazing. Shoot it!
Yeah! We deliver tickets, team merchandise, and everything you need to get ready for the game. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
Hi folks, Dominic Kuhn, General Manager here at Sunrise on the Pike. Thinking about a new used car or truck and not sure where to get the most for your money? Listen to what Sunrise has to offer. Over 1,000 Buicks and GMCs to choose from, with factory rebates up to $6,500 and Sunrise discount as high as $10,000. Bad credit, bankruptcy, slow pay, it's okay. We specialize here at Sunrise in secondary financing. If you got a job, you approve at Sunrise. The #1 volume Buick GMC dealer in the Mid-South and the home of the guaranteed credit approval. Come see us at sunriseonthepike.com or come by in person, 1800 Come Pike. We will make sure it's fun to buy a car at Sunrise.
Napa know-how. Right now, only at Napa, AAA members get a 20% discount. So you can avoid getting stranded on the side of the road by picking up some quality parts like batteries, brake pads, and more. Meaning you can prevent the problem before it ever becomes a problem. Bravo. That's 20% off for AAA members. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Exclusions apply. May not be combined with other offers. Offer ends 3/31/20.
Make your day smoking with the Big Green Egg. You can smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Ceramic never rusts, and the easy, accurate temperature control gives you the greatest range of any grill. Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg. Available at these nearby locations: Hamilton Fireplace Shop, 4462 Summer Avenue; Germantown Hardware Company, 2083 South Germantown Road; Garden Spas and Pool, 9393 Poplar Avenue; and East Memphis Ace Hardware, 5143 Quince Road.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129.
At Victory Auto Sales, that's victoryauto.org. We always ask our customers what they want most in a used car.
I want a car that runs when I turn the key. Don't want my appointment over there just waiting on me.
Buddy.
Throw away the cable. You'll never be late. With one of our cars because they are just darn great. I want a car that runs down the road, that doesn't leave me stranded while it's getting towed. I want brakes on my car so I can stop when I'm driving too fast and when I see a cop.
They want a car that starts. They want a car that runs. They want a car that stops. Victory Auto Sales, 901-380-5800. That's victoryauto.org. Check us out. We are at 4885 Elmore, just off Covington Pike. In-house financing, of course. Generous credit approval. Of course, don't forget to ask about our layaway. That's victoryauto.org, 901-380-5800. Fill out the credit app online or come by or give us a call, 901-380-5800.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Day after day, and I slowly go insane. I hear your voice on the line, but it doesn't stop the
Welcome back.
If I see you next to
Soft Rock Tuesday rolls on. I'd like to thank Anthony Sane for joining us in the last segment. If you missed that or any portion of the show, check us out, sports56whbq.com. All of the show's archives are up there. Not just this show, but Sports 56 Midday, Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio, and Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. All of those shows are on there. All of the interviews that are done, some of the really special interviews, some of the select interviews are up there in our special featured audio tab. So go check it out, sports56whbq.com, or get the app, Sports 56 WHBQ, the app. Tom Brady has announced that he doesn't know where he's going, but he's not going to be with the Patriots in the next football season. He sent out a special tweet to Pat's Nation from his Twitter account saying, quote, "I wanted to say thank you to all of the incredible fans and Patriot supporters. MA has been my home for 20 years. It has truly been the happiest 2 decades I could have envisioned in my life, and I have nothing but love and gratitude for my time in New England. The support has been overwhelming. I wish every player could experience it. My children were born and raised here, and you always embrace this California kid as your own. I love your commitment and loyalty to your teams, and winning for our city means more than you will ever know. I can't thank you enough for the support of our team, the packed training camps and sold-out stadiums, and mostly the victory parades. I've been so blessed to share them with you all. I tried to represent us always in the best and most honorable way, and I fought hard with my teammates to help bring victory and triumph, even in the most dire situations. You opened your heart to me, and I opened my heart to you. And Pat's Nation will always be a part of me. I don't know what my football future holds, but it is time for me to open a new stage for my life and career. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I will always love you and what we have shared, a lifetime full of memories." Somewhere, Jets, Dolphins, and Bills fans are rejoicing in unison. Somewhere. They are excited because Tom Brady has ran. Do you hear me? Ran that division. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick together have ran the AFC East. And it's not been close. It just hasn't been. Forget about the Super Bowls. What is it, 6 Super Bowls? 6 Super Bowls, I think? 6 Super Bowls. One for the thumb. Since let's go all the way. Well, first, let's go the whole Brady era, 2001. He comes through. This is where they ranked, where they finished each year in AFC East standings. 01 first. That was a Super Bowl win. Second in 02. First. Second. That was Brady 08. That was with Matt Castle at the helm. They were still 11-5. Second in that division. But even without Brady, they were still 11-5. And second. First. They hadn't finished outside of number 2 in that division since 2000. Since 2000, where they finished 5th, because that was before everything realigned when we got realignment in place.
That was when Brady got hurt, I believe, when he tore his ACL.
In 2000?
Or
08. 08 was where he was hurt.
Yeah. Okay.
That was when Matt Castle was the quarterback, and they still went 11-5.
Right.
They still went 11-5, just finished second. The 01, Brady came in for Bledsoe in 2001, and since then hasn't even sniffed a losing season. Once in 02. 02 he was 9-7. Brady Belichick 9-7. That tandem. But since then, been in the playoffs basically every single year. And I just rattled off from 2008 was the last time that they didn't finish first in that division. Let that sink in. That's dominance of the highest level right there.
17 AFC East titles.
Yeah.
In 20 years.
Yeah. That's good. That's 85%. 85% of the time.
You're winning your division every year. That's just about.
And it's not even close. 10-6, 14-2, 13-3, 12-4, a bunch. 14-2, 13-3, 11-5, 12-4. Like, they're not only winning this, they're not 8-8, 9-7 winning this thing. They're not even 10-6 winning this thing most of the time. They are getting double-digit wins, and you know it's hard. It's hard not because they necessarily play in the AFC East, but with all of the turnover that comes along with playing in the NFL to try and keep the parity up in a sport that is designed for you to have a lot of parity. You got the Patriots always playing a tough schedule from what the schedule odds makers would say. Because every year they play a first-place schedule, which means they play the other teams around the NFL who finish 1 or 2 in their division.
Right.
Every year they have to play. Remember when Peyton Manning was in Indy and how we had that rivalry, and every year we wanted to see Peyton versus Brady, and every year they gave it to us.
I love it.
And and he was winning those. The Patriots were winning those games also. It is remarkable if you just take a step back and think about what Tom Brady has meant, not only to New England, but by extension to the NFL and his time in New England. Again, it's a sport that is set up for parity. And the Patriots are like, no, we're not going to have any parity in this division. We're going to run this. Nobody can jump up. At one point in time, the NFC South was alternating who would win it. And if you finished in last place the year before, chances were good that you were going to win it the following year. And every year was Falcons, and then Bucks, and then Panthers, and then Saints, and then Falcons. And it was just rotating through. While all of that is going on, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft, and the Patriots, and I say those 3 men because those are the 3 who have been there from start of this thing. All 3 of them have been there from the jump. They have just continued to run through this division and run through the NFL on their way to 6 Super Bowl championships, 8 Super Bowl appearances. Like, it is wow. The largest comeback ever in a Super Bowl was them. They've won it a variety of different ways with a variety of different styles. But the 3 constants have been Brady, Belichick, and Kraft. And let's see how this thing continues to roll without Brady there.
Yeah, Robert Kraft. He came out. He came out to ESPN a few minutes ago, saying Tommy as in Tom Brady, initiated contact last night and came over. We had a positive, respectful discussion. It's not the way I want it to end, but I want him to do what is in his best personal interest. After 20 years with us, he has earned that right. Loved him like a son.
9 Super Bowl appearances. I forgot about the loss to the Eagles.
Yes.
So 9 Super Bowl appearances.
He is,
six wins.
He is 0-3 against the NFC East in the Super Bowl.
I mean, this guy is just this run with one team. We haven't seen it before, with it being the same cast of characters in the NFL. Because NFL is, like I said, it's set up for parity. Injuries also play a major part. You've got to be lucky to be able to play this long. And Brady is a bit lucky. He is. The tuck rule immediately comes to mind. In that snowy game against the Raiders, Charles Woodson comes in off the edge and forces what I still think is a fumble. But
yeah, that was a fumble.
But that is where that luck comes into play. He's been unlucky. Eli Manning in the pass to Tyree, and then the pass in the back of the end zone to Manningham, I do believe. Those moments snatch Super Bowls away from him. So he's been on the other side of this also. He's been smart about how he plays. Brady, especially post knee injury, when I forget who went low on him in 2008, but somebody went low, and the NFL changed that rule. Since then, Brady had been more aware, and he's been able to get the ball out of his hands super quick, or he just falls down. You don't see Brady take bad hits. And that's been part of the reason why he has been able to play for so long. How long has Brady been? 01, like 19 years? This is year 20? Year 20? Brady's career is almost old enough to drink now. And that is crazy in a sport. That's crazy to think about in a sport that is so violent, that has so many of those hits that put you out for seasons and ends your career. Those types of things. Brady has found a way to, I don't know if it's because Tom likes to eat all of that avocado or kale or whatever the hell he's eating. I don't know what the deal is, but he has found a way to continue to play and play at a winning level. And that's what you need. He's played at a high level for a long time. And this year, while it wasn't, I wouldn't consider this high level peak Tom Brady, it was still winning. He was still at a winning level. And had they not slipped up somehow and lost to the Dolphins of all teams on the road in that last game, you're talking about a team in the Patriots who, if I'm not mistaken, would have had a bye. Would have been the number 2 seed. They would have beat out the Chiefs as the 2 seed in the AFC and had a bye in the opening round of the playoffs. It's going to be odd seeing Tom Brady go out there and play with a different jersey on, just like it was odd watching Michael Jordan play as a Wizard, or it was, I'm trying to think of other ones that were odd. It was odd to watch Jerry Rice in an Oakland Raiders uniform. Those types of things. You see these individuals and these great players, and you think about their greatness, and it's always tied to the team that they played on while they were great. And when you've been great for as long as Tom Brady has been great, when you've been great as long as a player like Michael Jordan or Jerry Rice were great with one team, it is hard to envision them in another uniform. It's going to be so weird, so odd. But we know some things about where Tom Brady won't be going. I'm fairly confident that he's not going to Tennessee. That I don't think is going to work. They just signed Ryan Tannehill, and I don't think, it's not there. He's not going there. We know that. I don't think he's going to Oakland either. Oakland got an agreement in place with Mariota to make Mariota Carr's backup.
Unless they decide they want to trade Derek Carr.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think John Gruden wants to make this Carr thing work. Now, Brady is available. All bets are off. You'd rather have Brady an aged Brady or a Derek Carr, I think everybody would. I think some people, not everybody, some people would take Tom. Well, no, some people would take Derek Carr over an aged Tom Brady. Tom Brady is 43. You got him what? Another 2 years, maybe?
Just about.
Maybe.
If he feels like he wants to continue to play it past 45.
I think about Brett Favre when I think about this situation. How he bounces from Green Bay to the Jets, then to the Vikings, and has that really special year with the Vikings before it all falls apart on him, and his body just can't anymore. Peyton Manning, they got to a Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl with Manning as the quarterback. Denver did. And Manning, that first trip was the reason they got there. That offense was so explosive, so dynamic, and it just ran up against one of the all-time great defenses in Seattle. It also didn't help the way they started that game.
Yeah,
that's the business. Them's the break. The second time they got to the Super Bowl, though, that was something different. That was, if you remember, Manning getting benched for Brock Osweiler.
Right.
That was Manning not being great, but Manning being a winning quarterback. And that is hard to get sometimes. Sometimes you get a team that is in place and a team that is built to win. And you just need you don't need an exceptional quarterback. You don't need a game-changing quarterback. You just need a quarterback who has been there and has experience and can make winning plays. And I think what John Elway did in bringing Peyton Manning to Denver sort of lays out the template for how you can treat Tom Brady and what you can do with him if you're interested in Brady. But make no mistake, if you're getting Brady, you've got to have pieces around him that are ready to roll right now. You brought up San Diego, and with
Los
receivers.
Angeles.
Oh God.
I know. We're working on it. We're working on it.
It's been like 3 years though. And believe it or not, when I was over there, I always called them the LA Chargers. Now, I don't know why I always want to call them.
Wait. When they were in San Diego, you called them the LA Chargers.
No, they moved when I was over here.
Okay.
When I was over there on that. This isn't new. I've been over here this is new. Me over here.
Okay, gotcha.
But when I was over there, they were always the LA Chargers. I don't know what has happened in moving from spot to spot to make me always say San Diego. But the LA Chargers, and I think that they are set up when you think about not only a player like Joey Bosa defensively and what that defense is able to do. When you think about them having a running back as dynamic as Melvin Gordon. And I do believe Keenan Allen is still there.
Yep.
And you still have Mike Williams still there.
They franchise tag Hunter Hill.
Hunter Hill.
Not Hunter Hill, but
Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry. And you got Hunter Henry there in the passing game, the big tight end. It is okay. This is a place where it might make some sense for Brady to go. And it is a place that I don't know what their cap situation is though.
Right.
And that's the thing. If you're just looking at it from whose roster is set up for Brady to come in and have a ton of success, I think it's that Chargers roster. And if they got the cap space to do it, I would expect them to bend over backwards to get Brady in L.A. to play with them. Brady is a California native. Going back home, if that's how you're going to end your career, I think that is, after 19 years, I think that is a good place to do so after. So year 20 and 21 can be in your home state around family and friends, good weather. Also, after spending all those years fighting the elements up in New England, it'd be nice to get to L.A. because it never rains in Southern California. Like, it'd be nice to get over there with some palm trees and some pleasant weather. If I was going to handicap it, I would most certainly make the Chargers the favorite to land Brady as of right now.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Like you said, Chargers pretty much their entire roster is ready to roll. I mean, it was not that long ago they were in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Before 2 seasons ago before they had a drop off year. So I think, and plus their defense is like you mentioned with Bosa, but the back end of their defense is still legit, even with Derwin James coming back from his injury. So like the Chargers are on top of my list. If Brady wants to come back and play, the Chargers is ready to go. I would say Tampa Bay is number 2. And it's purely number 2 because of Bruce Arians, because of how Bruce Arians runs his offense. And then on top of that, you got 3 playmakers on that offense. You got Chris Godwin, you got Mike Evans, you got O.J. Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Another one of those situations, good weather and weapons around. And, again, the salary situation, Ian, you brought up Ian Rappaport reporting that those are the 2 teams that have really made strong-ass offers, to quote a LSU basketball coach, to Tom Brady. We're going to talk Titans. We got Teresa Walker coming up at 9, and if you don't know, the Titans have been real busy at the start of this free agency period. So we're going to discuss that and more right here on Sports 56 Mornings on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Farmers Insurance knows that when you're in the car and that song comes on, yes, that's the one, you have no choice but to pull out your imaginary drumsticks and smash those cymbals and stomp on that kick pedal, which unfortunately is the accelerator pedal. And we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent who knows a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
It's not too early to start planning for spring at Family Leisure. New pools are starting at $19.99, spas starting at $21.99, and swim spas now only $99.99. 5-piece patio furniture starts at only $799. Pool chemicals, toys, accessories, and more up to 20% off. Mention this ad, you'll get free delivery and 1 month of chemicals with your spa purchase. Start your spring planning now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Hey, it's Flo with a super weird word, nightgown. If you ask me, it sounds less like clothes you wear to bed and more like things you say to your clothes. Goodnight capri pants, sleep tight sweaters, nightgown. We've got a big day tomorrow. Now a weird word I just made up, flotection. It sounds like great protection for your new home through me and Progressive, and that's because it is. I said goodnight capri pants, go to sleep.
Save an average of 17% on car insurance when you bundle home and auto through Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Hilo Commercial Services can help protect your workplace and employees. Call Hilo Commercial Services today to help mitigate the dangerous effects of the coronavirus and the flu virus. Hilo offers complete deep cleaning and sanitizing services for schools, churches, medical facilities, office buildings, residential, warehouses, and more, all customized to your needs. Put safety first with Hilo Commercial Services. Call Philip right now at 901-277-6733. 901-277-6733. It's time for Hilo Commercial Services. The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main downtown is not your typical sports bar. The Vault does have 30 TVs, but there is more. Monday is steak night with $25 in-house smoked prime rib, ribeye, or filet. Tuesday is industry night and they're open late. Wednesday night is double the fun with poker night upstairs and ladies night downstairs. And Thursday, it's college night. There's always a great reason to go to the Vault with great game day specials and more great food from Chef Dirk Meitzler. The Vault on G.E. Patterson in South Main, your downtown place to eat, drink, and watch the game.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
I've
just close my eyes again. Climbed aboard the Dreamweaver train. Driver, take away my worries.
Welcome back.
Today.
Soft Rock Tuesday still rolls on.
Leave tomorrow behind.
Spent some time talking about Tom Brady. Jarrett Stidham's dreams are about to come true if they don't get a quarterback. Last time we saw Stidham, man, Belichick pulled him from a game in garbage time and put Brady back in because Stidham threw a pick six. Yeah, Belichick was hot at that pick six. Not sure why. I don't see how the Patriots don't look at their quarterback room and say, okay, no Brady, we've got to do something. We've got to go get a quarterback. You still have, I think, honestly, of the ones in free agency, I think Bridgewater would be the best. You still have Phillip Rivers out there as well. I would stay away from Jameis. Jameis is
clear of Jameis.
He is a 30 touchdown dude, maybe even 40. He is also a 30 interception dude, maybe even 40. It got so bad that to end the season, towards the end of the season, you could take odds. You could bet on whether or not Jameis was going to throw an interception before the start of the second quarter. And your money should be on, yes, definitely before. It is crazy the way free agency has played out. I never thought I'd see Tom Brady actually leave. Peter asked me maybe about a month ago when all the news began to swirl around about Brady and the Patriots beginning contract talk. It's like, no way Brady leaves. Should have known time and time again. It's a business. And so, unfortunately, because it's a business and the business is winning and making money, loyalty gets tossed out the window sometimes. That's why Larry Fitzgerald getting his extension, signing a new deal, with the Cardinals is such a big deal to me because he is going to stay in Arizona forever. And we talk about Brady in the career he's had, 21 years in the league. How long has Larry Fitzgerald been around? My God. He's playing a position where they are hitting him.
Yeah.
And he was playing when they were allowed to, clobber you coming across the middle. Anquan Bolden, his teammate, broke his face coming across the middle one time. Yeah, they were hitting out there for much of Fitzgerald's career. The Titans, speaking of NFL free agency, have been really busy. They started by giving Ryan Tannehill a huge deal, a remarkable deal. $62 million fully guaranteed. And $91 million total guaranteed. It is for, I do believe, 3 years, $118 million, about $29.5 million per year. That is wild, and it's all about the guaranteed money. So that $62 million fully guaranteed is a lot for a quarterback like Ryan Tannehill. But you look at him, he came in, he did great. He stepped in, and he got the Titans season turned back around. And was a part of the reason why the Titans were able to run all the way through to roll. He wasn't part of the reason they ran, but part of the reason they were able to roll all the way through to the AFC Championship game. Excuse me. The reason they were able to run all the way through was a guy by the name of Derrick Henry, who the Titans decided to franchise tag. And the backup quarterback for the Titans, the guy who started the season for the Titans, Marcus Mariota, is now in Oakland. Real busy Monday for the Titans.
Yeah, like we said yesterday, as far as with Tannehill's contract, that's pretty much the going rate of a quarterback if they play really well for 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
And with Tannehill, I mean, obviously he produced well enough in the playoffs to say, okay, yeah, we got to the conference championship game and was pretty much a few drives short of going to the Super Bowl with me as your quarterback. So, honestly, with Tannehill as their quarterback, all he got to do is just make the right throws, make the correct throws, don't force the issue, don't create any unnecessary turnovers, and just pretty much keep the offense running. Because obviously you're going to have Derrick Henry for one more year. Hopefully they'll sign him to a much a longer contract. You add more weapons to the receiving core, to the tight end to the tight end core, I mean, like the Titans can very well be on this nice little run until they find their young quarterback in the next couple of drafts.
Yeah, I don't think any of that is going to happen, but we'll talk to Teresa Walker. Teresa knows. So Teresa Walker is coming up next. We're going to get hot and heavy into some NFL free agency and some Titans talk. Also check on our neighbors to the east, the Nashville scene, see what's going on up there as well. Don't you dare touch that dial. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter and CJ right here on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Bases loaded here at the top of the ninth. And the pitch. And it's out of here!
We deliver baseball caps, mitts, and everything you need to get ready for the game. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
Here's a message for all you station surfers out there, you changers of the channel. I get it. Life's too short to hang around waiting for something better. So why haven't you made the move to Southland? Maybe you don't like playing longer on the largest slot floor in the region, or maybe you just enjoy the longer drive. But if you think getting there is half the fun, you're probably not having that much fun. Southland Casino Racing. Surprise yourself. Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 1-800-522-4700.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
I was looking at Central Barbecue's website, eatcbq.com, and did you know you can order online before you even go to one of the 4 Central Barbecue locations?
Hey, you're here.
You can cut out all the waiting by ordering online.
Of course you can. We do it all the time.
You knew about the whole ordering Central Barbecue online thing and you didn't tell me?
Well, for one thing, assume since you're the spokesperson for Central Barbecue that you knew.
What do you mean for one thing?
I try not to initiate conversation with you if I can avoid it.
Fair enough. Wait, what?
Yes, all you have to do is go to eatcbq.com and place your order before you go to Central Barbecue.
Let's go back to that not initiating conversation thing.
Eatcbq.com. Order online before you go.
Stop waiting and start off-road living in a Can-Am today. The Spring Fever event is now on at Olive Branch Motorsports. Take on every task, trail, and terrain in a Can-Am off-road vehicle that will easily handle anything that comes your way. And for a limited time, get up to $2,500 off on select 2019 models, making it easier than ever to go out and play. Visit Olive Branch Motorsports now at 5656 Goodman Road or online at obmotorcycleatv.com.
Play it loud.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1, and 87.7 FM, as well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app, and at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
I set my sights on Monday and I got myself undressed.
Welcome back in. Looks like the sun is coming out a little bit, but don't be fooled. It's going to go away. We're probably going to get some rain. It's been a really wet start to 2020. Add that to the list of odd things that has been 2020 so far in the year. Yeah, we're going to get rain. Well, maybe not. Doppler doohickey says just a little bit of overcast, but the rain is coming back on tomorrow and Thursday. So plan accordingly. And please, if you got to go out, try and stay. Give each other 6 feet of space and stay out of large groups, large gatherings. The coronavirus has affected the NFL and what they are doing this offseason. While the league calendar does start, the new season technically does start on Wednesday, and you can start signing free agents. You're not flying these guys in and not having them come into your facility. You're not flying out to try and recruit players. There are no pro days going on right now as we try, all of us as a society, as a collective, try to stop the spread of the coronavirus. With that being said, Teresa Walker joins us. She covers the Tennessee Titans and really all things Nashville from a sports scene standpoint up there for the Tennesseans. She is a Hall of Famer. She is one of the best people to talk to when it comes to discussing not only all things sports in Nashville, Predators, and the other things, but Tennessee Titans specifically. Teresa, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, my pleasure, but I'm with the Associated Press. So
I'm sorry.
No offense to the
I'm sorry. I apologize.
And it's weird. I mean, the Titans re-signed Ryan Tannehill on Sunday, taking care of the big piece for the quarterback, and just show how things are different. No news conference. Well, we are, but they're making him available today on a conference call, a nice, safe conference call. But and they tagged Derrick Henry yesterday. But we get, the NFL sent out an email yesterday that after they get all this business taken care of, well, things are going to be different. The off-season programs, which would normally start beginning of April for new coaches, April 20th for returning coaches, well, those are on hold indefinitely. And I saw a report, I think it was Judy Batista, saying one owner told her that they may not get things going on the field until the start of training camp, and which would be the end of July. So we are in some unique situations right now.
Yeah, how have you been holding up trying to do the whole social distancing thing? I've seen a couple of bars in Nashville have not been necessarily doing their part. How's it been for you?
Well, for me, it's been easy, at least since the SEC canceled the tournament Thursday. And trust me, I've been tested. This is actually seasonal allergies, which we're all familiar with in the South. Mm-hmm. So, be careful. If you lose your voice like I had for most of the last week, most of the time it's usually allergies. I was struggling, though, not being able to catch my breath, and so they went ahead and tested me because of that and a few other things. But you got to be careful because keep your distance. I've been working from home. It's a little easier because right now sports is on a hiatus. Everything's been canceled, and it's just a weird, bizarre time. But until that happened, I was at the SEC tournament Thursday talking to people, and since then, yes, getting food by takeout, doing things by conference call, email, and then those kind of things. And I can't tell you when the next time we'll probably get together and cover something sports. It might actually be the NFL draft at the end of April, which is undergoing. They canceled all the public events in Las Vegas. But you know what? This could be a thing where the Titans make their picks and everything is done remotely and maybe just broadcast on TV. I mean, we may not be in a room to do anything. We just may do it all by phone, which we could do. It'll be incredibly different, but we could do it that way.
Yeah, Teresa, you are an incredibly dynamic sports reporter. You cover everything from hockey to the NFL to SEC basketball tournament. Were they going to send you out, or are they still planning on sending you to Tokyo to cover the Olympics, the AP?
Hey, right now I am credentialed to go to Tokyo, and, that's something that being in, that starts July 24th, and I think that, all indications are that Tokyo and the IOC are going to wait as long as possible before they make a final decision on that. All indications right now are a go, but let's face it, the landscape in sports has been changing daily, sometimes hourly over the last week. So I think we all just have to kind of wait and see at this point.
All right, let's get on to the field, so to speak, with the NFL offseason, NFL free agency underway, hot and heavy. Even though you can't sign teams can't sign players till Wednesday, I do believe you can still try and work through some stuff in principle. Tom Brady announced here today in the past 45, 50 minutes that he's going to be looking elsewhere for employment. He's not going to come back to the Patriots. The last pass that he threw, we all remember, was that interception with like 15, 16 seconds left in that playoff game against the Titans, a game that the Titans were ahead 14-13, ended up winning 21-13, if I'm not mistaken. What will you remember most from that last game against Brady for the Titans and from Brady's tenure as a whole?
Well, let's face it, he's got as many rings on his hands as any NFL team. So absolutely an amazing career, 20 years, 6 rings. But, this last season, statistically, it was his worst. I think his passer rating or whatever was 79 after having been in the 90s for the last few years. Now, part of it was because his weapons just, the Patriots never got him the accompaniment of tools that he was used to making work. And, maybe it was that Patriot way of bringing in guys and plugging them in. At a certain point, you don't keep ringing, hitting the winning hand on every guy you sign. So that's part of what their problem was. They ran into that being a big issue. But on the other hand, he is 42, about to be 43. And the challenge he now faces, let's face it, over the last month, people were starting to realize the Titans could be a realistic option for him. That disappeared Sunday when they announced that they had a new deal with Ryan Tannehill. So a big deal at that. 4 years, $118 million, 62 fully guaranteed. And I'm curious to see what the market is for Brady. The Buccaneers reportedly want him. I saw a report this morning Colts aren't going to be in on the Tom Brady trade. The Raiders last night have agreed to a deal pending the start of the league year with Marcus Mariota. So, I mean, the quarterback slot seemed to be filled in. Which chair is going to be open for Tom Brady when he, and which is he going to choose? So I'm so curious to see where he lands, and I can't help but flash back to Joe Montana, Joe Namath. Peyton Manning is the rarity of a quarterback who changes teams late in his career and ends up walking out with a Super Bowl. So, and guys, that was mostly due to Von Miller and that defense in that Super Bowl in San Francisco. So I cannot wait to see what happens. Now, the Titans, they have been really smart. They kept Ryan Tannehill. They franchise tagged Derrick Henry, but they did with the non-exclusive tags. So they're going to be able to, if he wants, he can talk to other teams, help see what the market might offer him, and then come back to the Titans. And, I can't see another team giving up 2 first-round picks for him, but I can see somebody making a deal or at least making a number pitch that allows the Titans to get in the market of what his value is right now. And the one good thing about the Titans is rarely have they tagged guys and they end up playing the whole year under the tag. The last person to do that was tight end Bo Skate back in 2009. When they tagged Michael Griffin in 2012. They reached a long-term deal in June of that year. So I'm curious to see. I think the hope will be to get a deal done with Derrick Henry and using the tag as kind of a staking point. And then they signed Dennis Kelly because Jack Conklin, their right tackle, is headed to the Browns with his own deal. So At this point, the Titans haven't agreed to terms with anyone not a Titan. Curious to see what happens over the next couple of days.
Sometimes that's the best thing for you to do in the NFL, though. You feel like you have a good team rolling. You need to be sure to take care of those players. And so you might not be as active in bringing in outside free agents. You just take care of the free agents that you currently have on roster. And with two questions about the Titans that I have from yesterday, two major questions, and I think everybody has it. Can they get a deal done with Derrick Henry? One, and two, is Ryan Tannehill worth all of that money? We saw in the playoffs, Tannehill, I don't believe, threw for over 100 yards in any of the playoff games and may have hit a bit of a wall towards the end of the season there. The Titans really leaned on Derrick Henry in that run game to get them through the end of the season and have postseason success. Derrick Henry was good for, it seemed like, over 150 yards every game in the playoffs. Is Ryan Tannehill worth that much, and can Derrick Henry and the Titans work something out from a deal standpoint?
Well, Tannehill, here's the thing. They wouldn't have had a chance to be in the postseason if it hadn't been for Tannehill coming off the bench. And, he led the NFL in passer rating. He led them in yards per attempt. Under pressure, he was, there were hardly anybody better. I mean, he was first in passer rating against the pass rush, first in yards per attempt, and second in another stat. So they wouldn't have been in that position if not for him. And time will tell. But the Titans didn't break the bank. It's a lot of money, yes. But right now it's like 7th among quarterbacks, and by the time we get some of these other quarterback deals done, it could be 10th or 11th. So it feels like the Titans got a good deal without overpaying or breaking the bank. So, and we'll see. But for Derrick Henry, here's the thing where, this is the guy all last season would talk about his contract status. He was like, I'm here to play football. I love football. Now, some guys, when you get tagged, yeah, you can get mad and say, I want my long-term deal. And this is the guy who was the 45th picked overall. It's not like he had first-round money when he came into the league. So he was a third pick for the Titans in the second round. So this is his chance to really hit it hard. Well, but that's why just knowing and seeing what Derrick Henry has been as a person in his career to this point, I don't know if it's the Alabama way or what it is. It's tough at this point to see him taking an attitude, saying like Le'Veon Bell, I'm not playing under that. I want my deal. And, but his agent is Jimmy Sexton. And the one thing we've seen is usually a deal gets done. And that's why I say with the non-exclusive tag, it feels like this is a way to, for them to use this to maybe help see what the market would pay Derrick Henry instead of, because right now there's some deals out there that in hindsight look bad. Todd Gurley, Le'Veon Bell even, David Johnson, who gets traded by Arizona to the Houston Texans. There's a lot of guys being paid $16, $17 million a year, in that average value. And right now his tag is $10.3 million, essentially. I think he's probably worth more than that. But at the moment, we'll see. I think you could make a case he's maybe worth $12 million over a 3-year period and then throw in some bonus money. But, we'll see. I just, and maybe this is a value where, there's nothing else going on. Maybe this gives the Titans and his agent time to work through some of this and get a deal done. The deadline for that is July 15th. And I have to admit, I'll be a little surprised if they don't have a long-term deal in place before then.
All right. Jack Conklin, you brought him up, starting right tackle last year for the Titans. Left, he's going to be with the Browns. How big of a loss is that for this Titans offensive unit?
The way he played this year, absolutely a huge loss. Let's face it. Derrick Henry was the NFL rushing leader. Well, Jack Conklin was a big part of that, helping free up holes for him to get outside and run. That said, you can't pay everybody. And, their Spot Rack had their cap numbered on Friday at $63 million. They do the quarterback, they do Henry, and when I looked at it last night, it was $28 million. So and they still have so many guys that they need to try to re-sign. They might not be able to keep Logan Ryan as well. So, you got to pick and choose, and they picked the quarterback and the running back who played such a huge part in their offense. And let's not forget, they have so much money tied up in left tackle Taylor Lewan, left guard Roger Saffold. They did a new deal for center Ben Jones. So at some point, you've got to go keeper. They did re-sign, Dennis Kelly yesterday, multi-year deal, reported as a 3-year deal, $21 million. So they have protected themselves at this point, bringing him in, ready to step in. But guys, I'm expecting them to draft somebody to try to fill that spot in eventually, because that's the thing. That's why you have the draft. Now, the problem is they've only got 6 spots this year, and that's why they had to re-sign Kelly, to make sure that they had somebody who could step in for Conklin immediately.
So you bring up the draft with the NFL limiting the movement of team personnel, with there being no pro days. And you brought up the fact earlier that this may be a draft that goes on via phone or via some sort of Skype satellite type of situation. How does that affect the Titans, who are in need of a couple of pieces to try and get themselves over that hump?
Well, here's the thing. The one good thing that the NFL has that kind of gets lost in the spring when you have pro days and the combine, game tape. And, the risk you have of, workouts is you fall in love with somebody. The Titans once took a running back, Chris Henry, who was just a demon when it came to working out. But his production on the field in games was non-existent. So, fall back on the game tape. Lord knows we have plenty of that, whether you're NFL players that you're looking at in free agency. You've been scouting them for the last few months in person at games. And then you've got game tape of college guys. So, you're going to have to lean back on that and all your cut-ups and make your opinions based on that. And you can still talk by phone. Mm-hmm. And let's face it, you can do Zoom conference calls, video, FaceTiming. I mean, here's the thing. For this to happen, the technology, CJ, is in place to make this as doable as humanly possible as never before.
Yeah, and then all the different ways for us to practice social distancing but still be connected couldn't have happened at a better time. You can, like you said, you can do conference calls, Skype sessions. You can call the players. You've got the game tape if you wanted to. I've seen people wonder if there would be a way to get a player to do a pro day at a different location and just have a video streamed pro day if necessary. There are many different ways to get around the hurdles that the coronavirus and the social distancing have given us as a sports watching and a sports society. You just have to be a little bit more creative in what you are doing to go out there and make it work.
Well, absolutely. But here's the problem. Trying to do a pro day where everyone's keeping their distance and watching, online, the challenge is look at how many campuses are closing down. And not letting teams practice and have any kind of get-togethers at all. So this is where game tape comes into play. And thankfully, the NFL, colleges, because of SEC Network, Longhorn Network, ACC Network, there is more tape available than we've ever had at any time before.
Yeah, and it's as great as that is. You've got to lean on that some and call the players, talk to them. You can do instead of doing in-person interviews, you do phone interviews. We've all done a phone interview or two over our lifetime. We're talking with Teresa Walker. Follow her on Twitter at Teresa M. Walker, covering Titans, Predators, Grizzlies, college football, and so much more. You guys are in an interesting situation up in Nashville. Your professional sports team, one of them, their season got canceled abruptly. How has everybody been handling the postponement of the NHL season in the Predators?
Well, the Predators had to get home from Toronto, which, guys, if you're remembering, that was the locker room that Rudy Gobert and the Jazz had used just a few days before that. So,
I didn't know that was the same locker room.
Yes. So, but that's the thing. They had canceled the morning skate on the Thursday, and, they had to get them home. And right now, the NHL yesterday, gave players permission to head home. And, part of the problem is trying to get a flight home. If you're a European player trying to get back to Europe right now, you may not be able to make that. Mm-hmm. There's a report that, some Buffalo Sabres couldn't get into Canada before they closed the border to all but Americans or Canadians. So, it's just going to be very interesting. It's almost like self-isolate, wait, take it easy, and it's almost like Groundhog Day. We'll stick our head up in 2 weeks, in a month, and maybe at the end of April we can look up and start trying to get a handle on where we're at with this virus and where this league can go forward. I mean, let's face it, the Grizzlies and the NBA are in a similar situation. Both of these teams were in position holding a playoff spot at the bottom of their conferences. And, both teams, fan bases were excited, thinking we've got a chance to go play and have incredible seasons, go to the postseason. And now it's all on hold, and we're waiting to see, will they try to, resume at some point? Will they go straight to the playoffs? Well, nobody knows. And, the Predators are kind of on hold. They're using, some of their billboards in town for PSAs, wash your hands, keep your distance.
Mm-hmm.
Also for tornado relief because, Nashville, think about that double hit.
Yeah.
Not only is Lower Broad and bars and restaurants, kind of closing and doing delivery only and such in Nashville, people are still trying to recover from tornadoes. And, it's a double whammy, and it's just, talk about taking a gut punch right now.
Yeah, it's thoughts and prayers to everybody up in Nashville. I forgot all about the tornado situation that just
March has been a horrible month.
It's crazy, man. It is, and to look at it, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be getting better soon. It seems like we are just at the start of this self-quarantine, this social distancing, and that is going to take a while for us to see what we've implemented today, for us to see those effects. But Teresa, I thank you so much for joining us today. Follow her on Twitter again, folks. Teresa M. Walker on Twitter. Teresa, stay safe out there in them streets.
Thank you, CJ, and I hope next time we talk, I'll actually have all of my voice back.
I hope so, too. Take care.
Thank you.
That is Teresa Walker.
Yeah, we got a little bit of breaking news.
Oh.
Well, it's not much breaking news.
Well, why would you tease me with it? What's going on?
It's breaking news, but it's not really much of breaking news. It's just news.
Okay. What is it?
So the Saints have re-signed Drew Brees, 2-year, $50 million.
That was I assume that deal was going to get done, but he is another one of those quarterback free agents that was this year. But I expected them to find a way to get Brees brought back in. We've got more to discuss on the other side. We're going to get into specifics about some of these NFL free agency moves. You heard Teresa mention it. We mentioned it some in the first segment. DeAndre Hopkins is now playing for the Cardinals, and what did the Texans get for him? Oh, you won't believe this. This is a pitiful haul. I don't know what Coach O'Brien is doing there. Coach/GM Bill O'Brien. I don't know what in the hell is going on in his mind, and we're going to talk some more about NFL free agents as well. Dak and Amari getting the deal, Dak being exclusively tagged, and what this all means for other quarterbacks and other free agents still left to be swooped up, picked up. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
The word is out about R&R on Sports, where you've heard interviews from
Ken Griffith Jr., Dr. J, Hank Aaron, and many, many more.
Right here, R&R on Sports, Saturday mornings, 9 a.m., Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Don't miss it.
Soulfish Cafe has done something that no other business in the history of Memphis has ever done. They won 3 different categories in the Memphis Most. They won it for the best catfish. We all know that's the best catfish, and you can get it fried like everybody does, or you could get it, if you wanted to, grilled or blackened. It's the best. Everybody says it. Then there's seafood. We know about their beautiful shrimp. You can get those fried. You can get them grilled. The shrimp tacos are terrific. Memphis Most, best seafood. Then there's soul food. Yes, a 3rd category, soul food. Their veggies are unbelievable. They've got this sauerkraut sausage Cajun dish that is amazing. I love the cucumber salad. Everything is always so fresh. And now, there's 3 locations with a 4th one coming to Wolf Chase soon. The original Cooper Young, the shops of Forest Hill Irene, and of course the newest in East Memphis. That's on Poplar, just east of Perkins in the old Wolf Cameron location. They're the best. You said it. They're Soulfish.
I'm Dr. George Flynn with Flynn Broadcasting Company. The coronavirus situation is causing a lot of cancellation of events, schools, concerts, sporting events, and all kind of social gatherings. It's called social distancing. But you do not have to be distant mentally from everyone in the community, because Flynn Broadcasting is with you. We love you. We want to make sure that you are connected and protected from the coronavirus. So keep listening to this Flynn Broadcasting Station. We'll keep you informed, we'll keep you in touch, and we'll keep you connected to your friends. So as soon as this situation is over, we can go back to our normal living. I'm Dr. George Flynn with Flynn Broadcasting Company saying we love our community, we love you as individuals, and we are committed to your well-being.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know: Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 125 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown, located at 340 South Hollywood, across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit their website, binswangerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
It's a march to remember at James Gaddis Jewelers. They will buy your gold and silver. You can bring in your outdated jewelry for a whole new look. They have showcase gifts under $250 and Ronaldo bracelets from $50 to $350. They also have a beautiful estate collection picked by James. Pearls, rubies, emeralds, sapphires, and of course diamonds. Plus watches of all types, including new and pre-owned Rolexes. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar Avenue, online at gaddisjewelers.com. You can call them at 901-767-9648.
Your Memphis Tigers football program completed the greatest season in program history with 12 wins, a conference championship, and a berth in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Season tickets for the 2020 season are on sale now and start at just $100 when you buy 4 in the family fun zone, or $150 for end zone seating. Get your season tickets by May 15th and receive a free gift, concessions deals, exclusive access to regular season and postseason tickets, and more. Get your season tickets today at GoTigersGo.com or call 901-678-2331. Memphis Tigers football.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurts. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Thinking of the fear I've had so long. When somebody
Welcome back in.
listen to the fear that's gone.
Thank you guys so much for joining us as we get through this another one of those really odd days. Again, still no live sports. You still have NFL. Things are supposed to be getting hot and heavy. People are supposed to be flying free agents in, flying out to talk to free agents. Pro days are supposed to be going on. Draft is supposed to be taking place in Las Vegas, and it's supposed to be a spectacle, and none of that is going on. No in-person meetings with free agents from the NFL. No pro days. We're trying to figure out the best way. Well, the NFL is trying to figure out the best way to go about conducting the draft. Is still going to be a television event, but it might not be the spectacle that other drafts have been. And as we all practice some of this social distancing, a reminder, you can still go out to eat. I saw Mayor Strickland talking about this and how some people that eating out thing is something that they budget for, that is a part of their meals for the week, and that he's not sure if grocery stores are really set up for people to only live off of groceries in the city. So, yes, go ahead and eat out, but get it to go. And one of the best places to get it to go, if you like barbecue, and everybody in Memphis does like barbecue, Corky's Barbecue, Corky'sBBQ.com. Corky'sBBQ.com. Real quick, easy. You can hop online, place your order, go through the drive-through, have minimum contact, minimum exposure with people, get your food to go, and take it back to the house. And while we are not supposed to be in groups larger than 10, you can still go in there and gift cards, people. These businesses, these are our businesses. These are businesses in our communities. And you want to look out for them because we know these people, the people that work there, the people that own it. We know them. They are of Memphis. So if you don't want to risk it at all, just get a gift card. Say, hey, I was going to come eat dinner here one of these days in this particular week. I was going to spend about $50. Let me get a $50 gift card. It goes a long way. All of these small businesses can use, restaurants included in that, can use your financial support right now as we all begin to practice a bit of distancing and self-quarantining. And I guess being quarantined by yourself can lead you to do some questionable things. Really working from home for some people is hard. If you're not used to working from home, it can be hard on you, and you can slip up and do some things that don't really make sense, and things that wouldn't make sense for you that you wouldn't do had you been in the office. Things like typing in the wrong number for some reason because you're a bit distracted, or things like trading DeAndre Hopkins to the Cardinals for David Johnson and a second-round pick. My God, what in the hell is Bill O'Brien thinking about? I have no clue. I get it. This is a part of that Patriots way, where you get rid of players before they ask you for all of the money, and before they ask you for all of the money while on the back end of their careers, because that's how some of these contracts get teams messed up. The player has had a bunch of success early on, or up to this point in their career, and then they've earned that money based off of what they've done in previous years, but they're on the tail end of that production. And so you get a player who, by the time the contract ends, if the contract makes it all the way through, you either have to cut bait with them and lose them in the next 2 years, or by the time the contract ends, if you keep them around that long, the player looks nothing like the same athlete who signed that deal, signed that contract. I understand that. That's one of the reasons why the Patriots have been able to go on this run, dominating the AFC East in the way that they have, and running through the NFL the way that they have. I get it. But what's the tail end of a receiver's career? Because DeAndre Hopkins is 27. And I don't think that he's slowing down in the next 2, 3, 4 years. I really don't. So that is a player who you pay not only because of what he's done in the past, but what he is going to do. He is more than capable of still putting up big numbers and doing so for a period of time. Antonio Brown comes to mind. Were his numbers as good as years prior? No. Were his numbers still spectacular, still amongst the best at his position when he was 29, 30? Yes. Yes, they were. And DeAndre Hopkins, I get that vibe from him as well. I don't know why, if you're Bill O'Brien, you're so ready to cut bait with this dude.
Can we mention this for a second? Because I mentioned this yesterday. Odell was traded to the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm. What they get?
They got a first-round pick.
They got a first for him. Okay.
They got third-round picks. They had 2 third-round picks and a player from the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yesterday, along with DeAndre Hopkins, who got traded, Stephon Diggs gets traded.
Oh, what they get for Stephon? Did they get a first-round pick for him?
Oh, they got a first-round pick for him.
Okay.
Along with a 5th, a 6th, and next year's 4th.
Okay. All right.
So what's there that is not there for the Texans?
Go back and think about some of because we see this happen from time to time. Receivers getting traded, getting moved on. Go back and think about what you get for that receiver. When Brandon Cook, check that out. Did Brandon Cook get traded from the Patriots? I think he did. And see what the Patriots got for him. If you have one of these top-tier receivers, you usually get a first-round pick for him. And by usually, I mean all the time, with the exception of this trade, in which you get the Texans send DeAndre Hopkins and a 2020 fourth-round pick. You even gave up a pick. And the Texans, the Texans sent DeAndre Hopkins and a 2020 fourth-round pick. The Texans get from the Cardinals David Johnson, a 2020 second-round pick, and a 2021 fourth-round pick. I don't get how that is the deal that you think, yeah, we can do this. This is a good one.
Brandon Cooks back in 2018 was traded to the Los Angeles Rams for a first and a 6th-round draft picks.
The going rate for one of these dudes, one of these really good receivers, is a first. I wouldn't have traded him to begin with. He and Deshaun Watson would be players on my not touchable list. But if you're going to trade them, and if you're going to say we just don't want to be caught and hamstrung by him holding out in teams, knowing that we need to trade him because we don't want to spend all of this money on him. Fine. But if that's what you want to do, you got to get at least one first rounder for this dude. Are we sure David Johnson is still able to play running back at an effective level? Because I'm pretty sure he didn't start last year for the Cardinals. So you gave up one of the best receivers in the NFL. One of those dudes who, when people say, hey, you can start a team with one receiver, who is that receiver going to be? A lot of people are going to say DeAndre Hopkins because he is just that dynamic. He had a season, 2 years ago, maybe 3, where every ball that hit his hands, he caught. If it touched his hands, he was catching it. And you gave that player up for a running back who we aren't sure if he still got it, and a second-round pick? Like, that's poor. That is a poor job on your part, Bill O'Brien.
Even 2 years ago, Amari Cooper was traded for a first-round
Amari,
pick.
I forgot about Amari. I'm glad you bring up Amari because Amari got himself paid, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah. Again, that's the going rate for these types of receivers, these top-tier receivers. You get a first-round pick for that guy. You just do. And if you're trying to be smart, like the Patriots, and if you're trying to say, hey, we need to keep as much cap space available, okay, fine, I get it. But you got to get a first for DeAndre Hopkins. You don't get to make that move and not get a first for him and have people thinking you're a good GM. And this is why I would not have my head coach be my GM. Too much stuff is going on for him to be an effective GM. But Zach brought up Amari Cooper. He hit free agency, got a ridiculous offer from Washington. Reports out there saying that Washington made him an offer to make him the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. And Amari turned it down to stay with the Cowboys. He signed a deal, 5 years, $100 million deal with the Cowboys. That's pretty good money. The deal includes $60 million guaranteed, and that's what we look at. We look at that guaranteed money. So Amari Cooper, while not the highest paid receiver in the NFL, still got a good deal and is playing with the team that he wants to play for.
And I think the other details still haven't come out just yet, but I actually want to see about the years and the option to see if there is a club option or there's a player option within those 5 years. Because again, like
I would imagine that there would be a team option within those 5 years because of while Amari and DeAndre have got to be around the same age, aren't they? Check on because DeAndre Hopkins is 27. I think Amari's like 28 maybe. And so with that team option, you want that option towards the back end of that contract just in case things aren't going as smoothly as they were the first part of the contract.
Hopkins is 27. Amari is 25.
25. Okay, he's younger than. I don't know why I thought Amari was older.
Amari
yes,
Cooper.
you are older than and much less rich than Amari.
Unfortunately, I sit and think about these the players that are my age, because I sit back and watch them. It's like we're in college around the same time.
Wait till you get my age and you look up and it's just Vince Carter and Tom Brady and that's it. Everybody else is younger than you. Oh man, but Amari got his deal. And we talked some yesterday about what the Cowboys have decided to do with Dak. A part of the reason, and for those who don't know, they exclusively tagged Dak Prescott. Part of the reason why Amari Cooper is coming back to Dallas and forwent all of that money that Washington was offering him is he likes what he and Dak have going. And I can understand that. And many times we see, and because we don't have near the money that's in these contracts, we see players jump to, especially in the NFL, where you don't have quite as long a career as other sports. We see players jump to the money. And Amari took a look, and this is what happens when you have a franchise like Washington's. I'm sorry, Peter, but when you have one of those franchises that is poorly run and that you kind of scrunch your nose up because something always seems to not be right about you as a franchise, this is one of those things that happen. Even when you have the money that you can throw at somebody. That body would much rather stay in a situation or find a better situation for less money than what your dysfunctional franchise has to offer. And that is what we saw with Amari Cooper. And reports out there are that Washington wanted to pay him, break bread, break the bank to pay him. And just Amari was like, no, I can't. I'll try and use this as leverage to the best of my ability, but I can't in good conscience go up there and play football in Washington. Amari knows. He knows also. He goes from playing with, I think, Derek Carr and Dak Prescott are relatively on the same tier of quarterback. But he knows he's played with Carr and now he's played with Dak. The connection is there with Dak. And he knows what's going to happen to him if the connection with the next quarterback is not there. That performance that he had with Carr the last couple of games in Oakland, where they were hardly using him. He's been there. He knows what that feels like. He knows what that can do, not only to his value, but to his psyche. And so he is, hey, I've got a good thing rolling with the Dak Prescott at quarterback. It's probably best that I stay here and try and get a championship with the Cowboys.
And then on top of that, like you said, not only with Dak Prescott, but you still got Zeke there, even though, the money, everybody, questioning the money, the contract that he signed last offseason. You still got a pretty good running back. The O-line is still one of the best, or is working his way to being back to one of the best with Travis Frederick back at center for since his illness. And then on the opposite end of Amari Cooper, wide receiver, up and coming Michael Gallup. He showed a lot of promise last year. And, I'm obviously being one of the few residential Cowboys fans here at Sports 56.
What do you mean few? It's all of you are.
Not all of us. Not everybody here is a Cowboys
fan. It feels like it. It's you. It's Eli.
That's it. That's all I.
If the Cowboys ever got good, Mr. Norris would be a Cowboys fan.
Just coming in, just repping with this hat, with a Cowboy shirt on.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
But no, it's just you got Michael Gallup on the other end of it, on the other side of things, which makes it difficult for the defense. Because, all right, if you key on the run, okay, Dak showed last season that he could sling the ball, go get it to Amari. Okay, oh cool, you gonna double Amari? We'll go to Gallup. Let Gallup eat. Like It's like picking your poison. It's like which one would you want to want to choose from? Because we can kill you. We can beat you in the running game, and if you try to stop the running game, we're gonna beat you through the air. If you take away Amari Cooper, we're gonna go with Cooper. We're going with Gallup. So it's like you having the defense is having to pick its poison.
Yeah, and they've got to figure out what to do about Dak. It is hard, it is hard for me. I don't know why it's hard for everybody else. Every single year, the next decent quarterback whose contract is up gets all of the money. I don't know why all of a sudden everybody else wants to all of a sudden have a bit more thought process when it comes to getting Dak his money. I don't feel like we did the same thing with Wentz. We didn't do the same thing with Goff. We didn't do the same thing with Matthew Stafford or Matt Ryan or a Flacco. We just accepted the fact that, hey, this quarterback, while there has been a lot of success, and maybe that's what it is. Those quarterbacks have had postseason success in a way that Dak hasn't. Those quarterbacks have gotten to, I'm trying to think, all but Stafford have gotten to Super Bowls, and maybe that's it. Maybe that's the reason. Because when their contracts came up or before their contracts expired, the team said, hey, you got us to a Super Bowl early in your career. We're going to pay you to avoid having to deal with paying you later on. So maybe that is it. I don't know. But this is kind of the going rate for an okay quarterback. Every year, your average to good quarterbacks get a new record-breaking deal. It's hard for me because I like that. I don't. I just like Dak. I don't know why. I enjoy watching Dak Prescott play football. It's fun to me. I enjoy him off the field also. So on one hand, I get people saying you got to pay this man. On the other hand, though, I am anti-pay quarterbacks all of this money. I am very pro good football players. This is a good football player. This is an exceptional player at his position. Fine. But Dak Prescott isn't that. He's not exceptional at his position. And if you pay an okay quarterback, we've seen it time and time again, what happens when you pay these okay quarterbacks all of the money? It hurts you defensively. You can't go out there and get pieces necessary to be able to apply pressure and cover receivers and stop the run. On the offensive side of the ball, you lose all of the weapons, the quality of weapons, that you had around said okay quarterback that really masked some of his inabilities, some things he couldn't do well. You had weapons around to really mask that. Well, now you don't have the money to put those same quality of weapons around, and we see those quarterbacks really struggle. I wouldn't give Dak Prescott all of that money. I would not give Dak Prescott Russell Wilson type money. I wouldn't. But that is the going rate for quarterbacks, though.
Right.
And so,
and in addition to that, if you do pay Dak that much money, or hopefully he gets his money, but if you are paying Dak Prescott $35+ million, you got to be really good at drafting. And the Cowboys for like the last 5-6 years in the draft has been pretty much spot on with most of their players.
Yeah.
And so I think that's like the biggest thing that they're trying to figure out right now. It's like, okay, we're gonna pay Dak, but how are we gonna manipulate this draft, this year's draft, so that when we do pay him, that we can set ourselves up for the next year and the next year in the years to come when he's under contract for 4 to 5 years.
And you don't want him we'll talk more about what the Cowboys way of thinking is on the other side. We got to get to a break. We're going to talk more Dak Prescott and get you guys set up for middays on the other side. Don't you dare touch that dial. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Want to get your voice heard? Hit us up on the First Bank phone line or First Bank text line.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. For more than 26 years, they've supplied all the diesel parts that you need. From simple repairs to complete overhauls, they have it all. Whether it's heavy, medium, light duty, agricultural, marine, or off-road, Mid-South Power is the leading source for all things diesel. Fuel injection, turbochargers, engine parts, alternators, starters, and brakes, they can supply all the parts and services you need. Stop in today at 3250 Mill Branch Road in Memphis or call 901-396-0710.
Make your day smoking with the Big Green Egg. You can smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Ceramic never rusts, and the easy, accurate temperature control gives you the greatest range of any grill. Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg. Available at these nearby locations: Hamilton Fireplace Shop, 4462 Summer Avenue; Germantown Hardware Company, 2083 South Germantown Road; Garden Spas and Pool, 9393 Poplar Avenue; and East Memphis Ace Hardware, 5143 Quince Road.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Now, a tournament flashback Two of this year's top-ranked teams, Baylor and Gonzaga, met in the second round last year.
Clark posting up. Perkins curls, stops, float, alley-oop for Tilly. Oh, but Clark finishes! The second time's the charm. Smiles up the floor for the Bulldogs. 47-38.
Mark Few's Zags claimed the win and moved on to their fifth straight Sweet 16 before falling to Texas Tech in the Elite Eight.
An interesting creature inhabits the flat, arid plains of many an automobile dashboard, the bobblehead. It's most agreeable and will nod along to anything, despite having no brain function. But when the bobblehead hears how Geico not only saves people money, but also gives them access to licensed agents 24/7 online and over the phone, he'll nod even more vigorously because he knows you should switch. Because yes, switching to Geico is a no-brainer. Easy, bobblehead, easy. You're going to get whiplash.
Stop waiting and start off-road living in a Can-Am today. The Spring Fever event is now on at Olive Branch Motorsports. Take on every task, trail, and terrain in a Can-Am off-road vehicle that will easily handle anything that comes your way. And for a limited time, get up to $2,500 off on select 2019 models, making it easier than ever to go out and play. Visit Olive Branch Motorsports now at 5656 Goodman Road or online at obmotorcycleatv.com.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hertz. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
What's coming up next on Middays, Zach?
Coming up on Middays, head coach of your Memphis Tigers baseball team, Darren Schillenrock.
Coach Rock.
Join the program. Also, the AD for the Memphis Tigers, Larry Beach.
Okay.
The program as well, including with Don Wade. And then I have their Humdingers trivia and 2.5 questions.
All right. Jam-packed show on Middays. Text it in. First Bank text line 67129. Wentz had success. Wentz watched the Super Bowl. I forgot. My fault. I forgot that was Foles that had the success and won the Super Bowl in Philly. I don't know why I thought Wentz got to one as well. And we talked some during the break. Got Dak on the brain. During the break, we talked some about Dak and what's going on, what some of the holdups are. One of the things is with that new contract, Dak is wanting fewer years. And you don't hear players want fewer years and the team want more years. But Dak's way of thinking is, hey, if I get 4 years, my contract will come up right when that big contract, those big contracts of Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, right when those contracts come up, mine comes up, and I can get more money because those players are going to break the bank with their new deal, and I'll still be in my prime, starting my prime as a quarterback. And I want to sign a deal when they get theirs because I know how much money they're going to get. And the Cowboys are thinking the same thing, just in the opposite. Just my goodness. In 2022, Mahomes and Watson are going to break this bank. We need to get Dak signed up to a longer deal so that we don't have to overpay him based off of what other teams are doing. It is a tough situation. I get it, though. They're going to pay him $31 million, almost $32 million this year, though, with the exclusive tag. They've got till, I do believe, June to try and get a deal worked out, though.
And then you also gotta factor in, like, Dak was a 4th-round pick. Like, he wasn't a highly coveted quarterback from the jump. He was a 4th-round pick, was supposed to be a quote-unquote developmental project. But he ended up starting for all 4 years and not had a losing season, and yet put up good numbers, not only in his rookie year, but also in the last year of his rookie deal. So in his mind, he feels like just if I had a couple more years to kind of massage my way through this, because right now the team is really good at where they are. Massage my way through this a little bit more. By the time that contract, that 4-year, 4-year deal comes up, when Mahomes, Watson comes up, like, I deserve to be in that category of where they are.
If you financially, yeah, if you started, I don't believe has missed a game yet. And so those types of quarterbacks, while Dak has not had the postseason success of some of the others, those type of quarterbacks are hard to come by, and the going rate for those quarterbacks is way too much. And I get not paying him. I wouldn't pay him. But you're talking to somebody who wouldn't pay any of these okay quarterbacks. You know. That does it for us, though. We'll be back tomorrow. Everybody, please, don't go out unless you have to. Practice social distancing. Swing by if you got to go out and you're trying to get food. Swing by, get takeout. Buy gift cards at some of your favorite establishments. Please, please, and please continue listening to Sports 56. Middays is coming up next, everybody. Take care.